Comic Timing is listener supported by listeners like you over at patreon.com/comic timing. For as little as $1 a month, you can join up to the Patreon and get access to some diary entries, various other goodies, random games that Chris has put together, a whole lot more. We thank you so much for your continued support of the show over at patreon.com/comic timing. Thank you so much for your support. Hey there, folks. My name's Ian Levinstein, and welcome to episode 222 of Comic Timing. 222. And we are joined here for another previews episode. Murd is unfortunately on assignment at the barn, but in his stead, another previews veteran joins us instead, the one, the only, Chris Eberle. Chris, welcome back.
Gentlemen, honored to be here. Thank you.
Pleasure as always. And of course, the baldest man in the West, Raph Suhu.
Previews time, which means we are going to hawk 222 on that thing.
Yes. Ah, no.
It took you a second. I can't believe it took you a second.
So bad.
It was. That's what makes it so good, though.
Yeah. God, I bet
the suffering of others is hilarious.
You just remind me of the pain I've gone through over the past 20 years, man. I'll tell you. But it is once again previews time here. Raph just put his order in a little while ago, so he's got some picks at the ready. Chris does as well. And behind the scenes, I never actually said it, but I'll say it now. I'm reading it for the first time because that's how I roll. And that's how we will do things on this particular episode here. It's issue 430 of the main previews catalog. Image, I always like to say it, issue September, because they don't bother to say which number theirs is, September 2024 for them. It's the issue 50. Wow, 50 issues of DC Connect already. It's crazy. It's been around as long as it has already. And Marvel Catalog issue 34 to get us started. And as usual, we will start things over at Image Comics to get things going. And begin on their page 4 as the one and only Chip Zdarsky, along with James Stakoa, and Kagan McLeod with James Stakoa as well, bring us Creepshow, Volume 3, Issue 1 of 5. Zdarsky, baby.
That's all that matters. That's enough for me.
Well, exactly.
Zdarsky and Kagan.
It's a chilling mystery of a severed human hand and the length one writer will go to discover the truth. Fascinating. Horror anthology Creepshow returns for us. This is 32 pages of horror action here for only $4. And these days, that's a word. Those are words that I get to say. Only $4. The Steve Beach cover C is.
Oh, that's a gem.
That is.
That is a little.
Yeah.
It's a little high and tight there.
A little bit, just a bit outside. That's we'll say there. Yeah. So good. But check that out on page 4 and the subsequent page 5 for the variants there. Meanwhile, Jerry Duggan brings us Dead Eyes, the Empty Frames, 5-issue miniseries. Issue 1 starting it back up with Dead Eyes. Volume 1 is also available. This is the second of the Dead Eyes miniseries. In the world's most unlikable comic is out of hiding and back stomping around Boston. At the end of the first volume, the masked hood known as Dead Eyes picked up a clue as to the location of the paintings swiped in the largest private art heist in America. Can Dead Eyes and Wheels take down the score while avoiding the cops and the mafia? I really hope that this is actually the art heist that I think it is, considering that this is based in Boston. And, you know, that's one of the most famous art heists in the history of art, period. The paintings that were stolen under the nose of the museum, the Gardner Museum. that had their paintings stolen back in the 90s, if I remember correctly. There was a whole Netflix documentary about it that's really fascinating.
What's also exciting about this book is that it features the art of John McCrae, who's a Garth Ennis collaborator on Hitman in particular.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's right.
Great artist.
Yep, absolutely. Good variant covers there by Dave Johnson and Scott Kobush to go along with it as well. This one looks like it could be up your alley, Chris, on page 8. The Horizon Experiment, The Manchurian, #1.
A Muslim Exorcist, a reverse Indiana Jones, and more. Series of 5 one-shots created by comics, literary, and TV superstars.
Yeah.
So a Chinese James Bond running covert missions in America. Art by Terry Dodson. I mean, that alone is...
Oh, my God.
Demands.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
This is surreptitiously.
Oh, my God. Yes.
Oh, my God. Someone did it.
We have had this concept. Raph and I combined have had this concept in our heads after like
the first show. I want to say
it might have even been CGS 300 to be entirely honest.
Oh my God!
I think you mean of a Chinese secret agent?
Yeah, we were so sleep deprived that we wound up coming up with this character named Surreptitious Lee.
Sir, his real name is Sir Rupert Tish Lee. His dad is he's from Hong Kong. His dad is British, and his mom is Chinese. And so he does missions for for King and Country.
So you really were sleep deprived.
Yes, we were. We were like 22 and working on an hour's sleep in like the last 3 days because the hotel room was way too cold.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it was wild. I was so out of it,
and that day
I was like giggling at everything.
That Days Inn in Reading, I will never, ever, ever forget that horrible.
That's a rough lodging. That Days Inn in Reading.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh boy. Jeez, you can almost feel the bugs. But yeah, page 8, Horizon Experiment, The Manchurian, subtitle surreptitiously. Do check it out. 5-issue miniseries by Pornsack Pinchot to get things started. It looks really awesome. I love a good spy story, especially something with.
I glossed over it. I think I'm changing my mind right now.
Oh, absolutely, and the artwork. My God. Oh,
yeah,
that is
Dotson.
I know.
Dotson.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. So check out the preview pages on the next subsequent amount of pages, all the way up to page 14 on that one.
Just give it away.
There you go. What say you, Raph, on Knights versus Samurai?
Listen, to be honest with you, these like blank versus blank comics have always been kind of hit or miss.
Mm-hmm.
So like what was it? Zombies versus Vampires was one.
Yep.
But this one, let's see. Sir Charles Ward, the Dragon Butcher, has achieved knighthood, acclaim, and is leading a legion of royal warriors on a noble mission. It is self-doubt and grief haunt him. Venturing to a mysterious island in the Far East, Charles leads his diverse assembly of fighters, including a giant and 2 clerics, so not a complete party, to seek vengeance against savage monsters who ambush a group of English missionaries. Arrival on the island reveals that the truth may be drastically different from what Charles was led to believe, and the savage monsters you will face are actually a regiment of skillful warriors, the like of which we have never seen. I mean, I love a good East meets West story. Like this could, without it being like really painful, like Tom Cruise is a white guy that ends up in Japan and becomes the best samurai ever. Like this is not that. Which actually makes it kind of interesting.
Yeah, and it has the pedigree of David Desmalkian behind it, so that's helping it out a little bit, definitely. And dragons,
dragons and samurais. What more can you ask for?
Can't go wrong with dragons. I recently caught up. I haven't watched Sundays yet, but I'm almost entirely caught up on House of the Dragon after sleeping on it for quite too long. So
is it better? Is it as good as early Game of Thrones or better?
I'd say it's, well, you know what? Because it's based on something that actually already finished, because that novel, that prequel novel exists and has a actual conclusion to it.
Yep.
Its pacing is way better. And it actually is leading towards a conclusion that's written in stone rather than George R. R.
Makes sense.
Exactly, not having finished it yet. So I'd say I'm enjoying it a lot. It's definitely up there with, I said, the first 2 seasons of Game of Thrones, definitely.
Because Yeah, I was so turned off by the final season. I don't ever want to touch Martin again, but I might.
Look at this.
I might give it a chance then.
Look at this spread on page
19
that they included for this book. That is beautiful, beautiful stuff.
I love it's a small. Go back to that picture with I love just a little bit of art on the right side. The character with the earring, his expression is so well realized.
It is.
Oh, yeah. I love that pensive glance.
That's beautiful artwork.
It really is. Yeah, absolutely. All right, page 20. Lady Mechanica returns for a new miniseries. This has 7 volumes behind it. So if you're a fan of the Lady Mechanica series, you've got more in store. Nice steampunk story being told here. First of 4 issues in a miniseries by Joe Benitez, M.M. Chen, and Sia on the artwork. Page 20 for that. As Lady Mechanica tries to escape disturbing revelations from her past by running off to Siberia on a dangerous hunt for an alleged dragon living in the depths of an ancient lake. More dragons. More dragons. They sell. They sell. Check that out on page 20. Subsequent preview pages on the next couple. And this was brought up to us by multiple people. Yes. Brian.
This is one of mine too.
Brian Kane on the Patreon, when I put up a thread for it, mentioned this. This is Dan Warren Johnson. Enough said on that. Artwork by Riley Rossmo and Dan Warren Johnson. The Moon is Following Us, issue 1 of 10. Action adventure fantasy series that I am absolutely going to be picking up when it's all collected in trade, because this sounds fantastic. Sam and Duncan Lemire love their 6-year-old daughter Penny more than anything in the whole world. But half a year ago, she was taken by the Cascade, an evil force they barely understand. Now Sam and Duncan must fight side by side with the magical beings Penny cherished to try and get her back before she's gone forever. Like, very little else needs to be said outside of the fact that it's Daniel Warren Johnson. He really hasn't done wrong for me yet. Combined with the Transformers stuff, do a power bomb. It's the Wonder Woman stuff. You got to give it a go. And I absolutely will be doing that at some point when it's all collected in one glorious volume. The Moon is Following Us, issue 1.
I'm also whiffing that. I've only read the first few issues of Do a Powerbomb and Transformers, but I love Daniel Warren Johnson.
Oh yeah,
he's also fellow gigantic wrestling fan. So I'm definitely going to get the trade on this.
Really liking the characters designs too, especially the anthropomorphic frog with the eye patch.
Yeah, very Barda-esque too on that.
Yep. And you can never go wrong with anthropomorphic frog, as you're sitting.
Absolutely. Good stuff. And yeah, finish Do a Powerbomb, Ralph, by the way. It's so good.
I don't know what box they're in right now. I started reading it before the move.
Got it.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's not anything but that.
Oh, no. Understood. Well, Chris, I know you like your superhero crime mystery stories.
Sure do.
And here's one for you with the Tin Can Society. Peter Warren, Francesco Mobley, Chuck Chuckry, what a name. The first stunning issue of a brand new miniseries from Giant Generator showcasing the first graphic novel work by screenwriter Peter Warren. And Johnny Moore is a world-famous tech mogul known as much for his work pioneering mobility aids for people with disabilities like himself, as he is for moonlighting as the metal-suited vigilante Caliburn. But when Johnny is found murdered and his suit stolen, his estranged childhood best friend reunite to solve the mystery.
Oh, a little like Stephen King, little feeling to it there as well. Mm-hmm. I'm all over issue 1 of this for sure.
Oh my God. It's Iron Man meets Watchmen meets It.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
I'm definitely this definitely caught my eye when I did my rounds too. Mm-hmm. But I'm also going to whiff it because I'm trying to get out of the singles game.
Man, some major body horror there on page 36. Murd.
Murd's not going to like that.
No. Yeah, this is definitely going to be worth reading, either in individuals or in singles, depending on your preference. Absolutely. All right. Further down into Image, we are in the single issue area. Old Dog gets a one shot. Old Dog Operations. Following the blistering debut in Image #1 and the acclaimed Redact 1. Declan Shelby's Old Dog returns in a collection of short missions joined by some of the industry's best creators. Those creators include Charles Soule, Leonardo Romero, PJ Holden, and others. Artwork by Shelby himself and Romero and a bunch of others included in the process as well. This is going to be a 64-page one-shot of Old Dog stories. So nice one-shot anthology issue on page 51.
Yeah, I know Declan, and Leo is a brother from another mother, so I might check that out.
There you go.
I actually don't know Leo; it's just the name thing.
Oh no, that's fine, Raph. I wonder why you would appreciate someone named Leo, Raph.
It's automatic. I'm sorry, it just comes out.
Oh my god!
I don't want someone to actually believe that I'm actually sort of related to this person.
No. That's fair. That's fair. Crave trade paperback, by the way. Maria Lovett. Crave collected all 6 issues, available on September 11th here on page 60 if you're waiting for that collection. And Dutch, which I was a huge fan of as it was coming out, is now available. This collects Dutch issues 0 through 3 in one trade paperback. So 120 pages for $13. Not too shabby. On page 61, of course, Joe Casey, the writer behind that, along with Nathan Fox and Simon Gain on the artwork. Speaking of Mr. Daniel Warren Johnson, this was specifically the Daniel Warren Johnson work that Brian Kane was pointing out, Extremity, deluxe hardcover, page 62. This is straight Daniel Warren Johnson. All collected in full for the first time. So this is a 12-issue maxi series that he put out, all about Thea, who was an artist with a family that loved her, but that was all taken away. Now Thea dreams, not of a better life, but of revenge on the clan that attacked her family. Consumed by vengeance and longing to regain what she lost, Thea follows her father down a dark and bloody path. But how far is she willing to go? We will find that out together on page 62 with Dan Warren Johnson's Extremity deluxe hardcover.
Let's pause here for this. Let's pause here for this next collection. I've been raving about the newest iteration of G.I. Joe American Hero for months now. Mm-hmm. This is again Larry Hama scripting. It's the ongoing in terms of issue numbers from his original Marvel run. Mm-hmm. This is a Image relaunch with the original numbering. The Chris Mooneyham art is magnificent, and as I mentioned before, anyone who grew up loving those G.I. Joe stories, these very much retain that spirit. I can't recommend these issues enough. I think it's the first 5, Ian, I want to say.
Yes, I believe so. Let me scroll down a little bit further here. Yes, it is 301 to 305.
Yeah, any G.I. Joe fan, this is required reading.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and I mean the artwork. The artwork is something that you specifically have been pointing out has been superb in this return.
Absolutely, they really up their game with the artwork. It's excellent.
So,
Absolutely.
Real quick,
yeah,
does Larry have the record for most issues of a book written that it's not like creator owned?
It's a good question.
He's written he hasn't written all of he hasn't written all 305. I'm pretty sure there's a gap, in general,
only very small gaps without him though.
That's what I'm saying. Like so.
What we have to remember is that when the Marvel series ended, G.I. Joe eventually returned Image, then I think Devil's Due.
Yes.
And those were not written by Hama.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But eventually they restarted the Hama numbering with him writing it.
Right.
I could be wrong, but I think he's written all of those.
Oh, wow.
So he legitimately has written all the issues of A Real American Hero.
I could be wrong, but I want to say yes.
Yeah, I think now that you say it, I think you are right about that because I don't think there was an issue of the Marvel run without Larry Hama on writing. Now that you mention it, so yeah,
305 issues. I mean, I can't think of any book written by one person that long.
And for that matter, Raph, a book that, as Chris said, essentially stopped and then was continued after hiatus for that long.
Right.
Is really
it's been under the banner of different companies, but we're talking about the Real American Hero iteration, but now it's back with Image.
Yeah, and there was news that came out somewhat recently that it looks like Larry Hama's actually getting some of the money he was owed in royalties over the years. As I know,
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, I know he's been going through some health issues and stuff like that. I don't know if it's a pretty penny or not, but he's supposedly finally getting some of the stuff that he was owed for G.I. Joe stuff, which is nice to see. So
yes, it is.
Yep. Mr. Remender gives us Giant Generator, first issue sampler, volume 1, Gateway Drugs. That is very much a Rick Remender title for anything. This collects Deadly Class number 1, Black Science number 1, Low number 1, 7 to Eternity number 1, Death or Glory number 1, The Sacrificers number 1, and The Scumbag number 1, all in one package. So if you want a nice sampling of Remender first issues, this will be for you on page 64. 176 pages for the glorious Image price of $9.99. Then Ryan Parrott's The Infernals gets the trade treatment on page 65, Infernals 1 through 5.
I think I've read only half of those Remender books, to be honest.
Well, it's nice sampler. Nice sampler.
I might pick one. I don't maybe. I might just get the 3 books I'm missing.
How about this on page 67? This is the 2022 Harvey Award winner for Best International Book, returning in Prestige Omnibus Edition. So Mirka Adolfo's Sweet Paprika, number 1 through 12, available for you on page 67. 400 pages of story for $60. Very much a mature book. So don't give it to your kiddies, but this is a 18+ story for you on page.
Well, I like the description. Go back for a minute, Ian. Thank you. Bridget Jones' Diary meets Sex in the City with a pinch of The Devil Wears Prada.
That sounds like a plan. And this is the director's cut edition, now available to American readers for the first time, including spicier panels.
Okay.
Or more caliente panels.
We could all use more spice in our lives.
Indeed. A comic that I wrote, clearly, Mr. Levenstein. Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Levenstein presents Feelings.
Wait, let me check my watch. So we took how long to get to Borscht Belt? Not that long. Okay.
Didn't take long. Hey, it's not my fault that it's pretty damn close to my name. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Mr. Levenstein.
Congratulations on getting a comic published. It's very hard to do.
Thank you. My clearly my pseudonym is J.L. Westover. And Feelings hardcover OGN, Live, Laugh, Lovenstein. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll wonder if the tingling sensation in your stomach is butterflies or something else.
You're enjoying this way too much.
I'm also disappointed that this wasn't one page later, because I feel like it would have been a great page 69, but nonetheless.
There's a 69 cover a little bit later, though.
Yeah. Oh, well, they did have. There we go. They at least had some of the pages from it here. So, oh my god, it looks like so much fun. It's so cute, so stupid, in all the right ways.
Revival.
Yes, Compendium of Revival. Supporting Norton here, page 73. All 47 issues of Tim Seeley and Mike Norton's Revival in one compendium trade paperback. 1,200 pages of content for a mere $60.
Good deal.
That is a damn good deal.
That's before an inevitable discount.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That size makes me nervous, though, about the binding.
Yeah, that's
a lot of pages.
Mind you, it also includes the Free Comic Book Day short story, the Chew crossover, and a Jenny Friesen cover gallery, as well as a bunch of behind the scenes stuff. So that's on top of the 47 issues of the.
This is definitely worth it for sure.
Yeah, no question. Definitely worth checking out on page 73. A new edition of Saga Volume 1 with a new cover. any of you folks who have not checked it out yet, this is a brand spanking new version of the first 6 issues of Saga, one of the best series that has essentially ever existed. I'll just go ahead.
I like the copy, the critically acclaimed masterpiece and one of the most iconic best-selling comic series of its time. I couldn't put any better.
Yep. And this is in a 6x9 edition, so it's actually nice. Almost manga sized.
Yep.
So that's even better for the kids. And frankly, some of these 6x9 reissues have been working out really well, especially on the publishing end. So I hope that indeed happens here, and even more people check out Saga now.
Although just to cover ourselves, Ian, this really isn't a book for kids unless they're, I'd say, teens and up.
Yeah, PG-13.
Yeah. It says 18 plus. You can probably get away with about like 16 or 17.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Great new cover by Fiona Staples for that book petition book.
Excellent. Page 74 for that. And Paul Cornell's Saucer County.
Great writer.
Edition immediately afterwards. He's a terrific writer. This includes Saucer County, Saucer State, and Saucer Country, the finale. Kept saying county. Country, the finale on page 75, all in one 440-page trade paperback. I'm glad this is back in print.
Busiek.
Busiek and Immonen.
Yep. Immonen.
Yeah. Page 76. This is a brand new edition of Superstars as Seen on TV. The more popular Superstar is, the more powerful he is. His meteor tycoon fathers agreed to keep him famous enough to save the world, but that means maintaining his powers risks him becoming just another property in his father's portfolio. All this amid a global threat from the techno-genius Robo Sapiens. Great name. I mean, on top of it being an awesome concept, it's Busiek and Immonen. So if you've never read it before, this is now back in print. It's only $10 for 88 pages of content. Page 76. Check it out. I'm going to be checking it out as well. Actually,
I'll probably get it from a shop near me.
Yep, definitely. Yep. New edition of Invincible Volume 5. Talk about excellent comics. This collects Invincible 25 through 30. In one collection on page 80.
That smaller format too.
Oh yeah, you're right, actually. All right, and let's go down. Void Rivals Volume 2. Robert Kirkman's stealth launch of the Energon universe continues in the second volume, collecting issues 7 through 12, page 84. And on we go to the ongoing book.
I just want to point out, go back to Destro for a minute, if you wouldn't mind.
Yes, of course.
I just read issue 1 of Destro. And I really want to compliment all the Energon G.I. Joe books I've read so far. Have been outstanding. Duke, Cobra Commander. I haven't finished Cobra Commander, but Destro, issue 1. They really get the characters very well, but it's a whole new universe, obviously. But don't be put off by that if you're a G.I. Joe fan, because the spirit is there. Really impressive so far.
Excellent. And this is the 4th of 5 issues here of the Destro mini, so we're getting close to a collection. Dan Waters on there, and there's a spoiler cover as E, and they definitely left out whoever is on that cover, because that itself is probably the spoiler cover. So check that out on page 92. And then, of course, Zdarsky's The Domain, issue 3 of 5 on the subsequent page 93. Fun meta story for readers of Public Domain. They describe
Public Domain is wonderful.
Eastman's Drawing Blood reaches the 6th of 12 here on page 94 for anybody who was waiting for the 6th issue of that to come out. Busiek and Nicieza's Free Agent, issue 3, page 97. And we're anxiously awaiting the trade for this one as well, as
it's quite a writing team.
Oh, yeah. Yep. As Murd pointed out last month, the Thunderbolts writing team, essentially.
That's right. Yep. Good point. Yep. Good old Murd.
And here's your issue 310, the Battle for Springfield.
It's just if you're a G.I. Joe fan, these books you're just going home.
Paul Pelletier continuing to be the main artist on the last couple of issues, and continuing here as well, page 98. Holy Roller concludes here. This was another one that I'm looking forward to reading, mostly for the whole Rick Remender and Andy Samberg on the writing teams. So this is going to be worth reading, definitely.
We'll probably get a trade by the end of the year.
Oh, we're 100% going to get a trade on something like this, man. That's a given. Page 101 for that. And I will scroll down a little bit further to a book.
Public domain.
Issue 8, page 111. I want you to make me relevant.
Was issue 7 of last month's previews? I must have missed it.
Yes, I believe it was.
Okay, I'll have to go back and make sure I get that.
Yep.
The first 6 issues of this story were magnificent.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone who appreciates or is a student of the history of artists like Kirby and so many others who had to struggle with ownership rights, royalties, credit, this story goes to the heart of that. It's so well done.
Absolutely. And
now that's what I meant about 69, Ian.
Yes, indeed. That's true.
Once again,
Sega.
Saga is in a class by itself.
Yes.
Old allies explored new positions.
That is a stunning cover.
Perfectly worded.
So good.
Complete with sushi.
Mm-hmm. That is true. Page 116 for Saga number 69, Giggity. So do make sure to check that out. And talk about long-running books. He's right behind Hama here, and he started later than him, but obviously again Hama had the giant break in between. 273 issues of Savage Dragon. Man, Eric Larson.
So besides Spawn, this is the longest running Image title, correct?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. Because the other two don't have anything that lasted.
Yeah. Yep. The Scarlet miniseries.
Haven't read that yet. Yeah.
Yep. Kelly Thompson, the writer behind that, page 119. And Self-Help is another one I'm waiting to see collected as full. Nice crime mystery by Owen King and Jesse Kellerman, issue 4 or 5. Who shaves the barber? That's the question. Page 121. Transformers, issue 12. Dan Warren Johnson continuing on the story side with artwork by Jorge Corona and Mike Spicer. End of the second story arc of this Transformers series here as the fate of two worlds is decided as the Autobots and Decepticons make choices that will change the universe forever. Page 120.
All I'll say is Daniel Warren Johnson, he's got the touch.
He does, and the power.
He's got the power.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Does indeed.
God, there's two of you. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
What have I got myself into here?
And
that's our particular brand of podcast.
And one's worse than the other. Trust me, it's him.
No, it's me. I'll gladly cop to that.
This shows how much I love Murd that I'm standing in here.
I know. Harumph, I say harumph. But no. What's great about this too is that we're talking about this on the last of Prime Day, and we have to remember, that Prime Day is absolutely all about Optimus Prime and the sacrifice that he made. So, page 125.
Veterans Day for the veterans, Prime Day for Optimus Prime.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Wow, this is something here. Page 131, the Massive-Verse fighting card game with artwork by the one and only Dan Mora on the cards. This is a one on your favorite characters from Radiant Black, Rogue Sun, The Dead Lucky, and Inferno Girl Red. All available here in a fighting card game powered by Pocket Paragons on page 131. So if you're looking to have your Massive-Verse fighters fight each other, then this will be a card game for you, page 131.
10-year-old me is all over that because he loved card games.
I'm hoping maybe they have this on display at PAX Unplugged, and we'll be able to get a few rounds in. We shall see. Yep. And then there's a playmat for it as well, also designed by Dan Mora on page 132.
God, he's a tremendous artist.
He's so good.
Yep. And that concludes the Image catalog. And on we go to the main previews catalog.
I didn't realize how big it was. It doesn't like I got the catalog this month, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, it's over 600 pages.
Oh no, regular previews. Yes, I'm talking about Image. Image.
Oh, okay.
Pages.
Yep. Yeah.
No, these are. I didn't get it this month.
And mind you, at least I'll have to check, but I think finally Diamond might no longer be having Image.
No, Image was in there, Ian. They were in there.
Okay, that never
in there. Yep.
Oh well. Let's start it off. Yeah, this is just an advertisement for it. So we start off with Minor Arcana by the one and only Jeff Lemire. Written and drawn by Jeff Lemire. That's what I like to see.
It's been a while.
Yeah. This is his first solely authored series since Sweet Tooth.
That's what I was going to ask. Has it been since Sweet Tooth? Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And this is also, I believe, his first work with Boom Studios, as Teresa, the daughter of a small town psychic fraud, returns home to care for her ailing mother, however begrudgingly. But when Teresa discovers that there may be more to the magic than she originally believed, she'll find herself caught up in a town that desperately needs her help. Interesting premise. And 48 pages for $5 here on page 34. You know, get in on the ground floor for what's bound to be an epic series by Jeff Lemire. So, absolutely on board. Minor Arcana, page 34. And I will point out, this is as good a place to mention it as any. There was major news that came out about Boom Studios. It was Boom Studios that got sold, correct? Am I thinking that? Am I thinking of the right publisher?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Because Boom bought Archaea.
Yes. Random House. Random House is buying Boom Studios. So, and from what we know already, Random House is a distributor of comics, and they're not Diamond. So we're not sure what this is going to do for solicitations in the Diamond catalog, and whether or not they themselves are no longer going to be in it after a certain amount of time. But major news in the publishing world, and another shakeup, to say the least. But at least it means that
what a crazy thing to say after decades of my former employer doing everything.
I know. Yeah,
and then I leave Diamond, and this all happens. I mean,
clearly, I didn't realize you worked for Diamond.
I did for like 3 years. I left New York for like 3 years, and I was there doing. Actually, I would have worked with you. I don't think your store was open then. I did sales for the direct market.
What year was this?
2014 and 2017.
I was open.
Okay, but I mostly did action figure sales.
Yeah, I was out of action figures by then.
Yeah, so you would have either gotten annoying emails from me or from Francis about product you would never.
Yeah, frankly, I mean, I'm sure you've heard over the years that my experience with Diamond was almost universally negative. So,
you're not the only one I heard that from. And
take a number. Come on.
Yeah, for what it's worth, I mean, I had Dennis, what's his face, as one of my accounts. So, the guy from. No, not Dennis Hopeless. No, the retailer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that guy. I had him as one of my clients, and I knew not to contact him because he was just gonna, yell at me for things I had no control over.
Good times.
I mean, for what it's worth, I mean, my personal time there wasn't terrible, but I know retailers who would not agree with me about Diamond at all.
Well, that's not your fault. You just work there.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to take it off a tangent. It's just that, and we've talked about this before. When you're trying to work with a monopoly,
oh yeah,
they've got all the cards. So
yeah, exactly.
I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, and now it's less or so. So
which is why I'm so surprised, like how quickly things have changed since in the last 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's wild.
Yeah, but hopefully, Random House will treat Boom well, and it will continue to grow, because Boom is one of my favorite was independent houses for quite some time. So
I hope this means that they're like I hope this means more mainstream attention too, because they can get into the book market a lot better now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh my God, look at this artwork.
Oh, look at that.
Yep.
Oh, so good, so good.
It's an incentive cover. Do I have to pay extra for this thing?
Probably.
I'm just gonna take a peek.
Meanwhile, while you take a peep, I'll take a peep at Something Is Killing the Children, number 0. So it's been 5 years since the launch of Something Is Killing the Children. And now they are doing a new chapter from the past of the Something Is Killing the Children.
I have yet to try this book.
From what I've read of it, it's really captivating. I've only read about 2 or 3 issues, and I need to read more. But easily,
I haven't read a lot of it.
Yeah, one of the best horror books on the stands, definitely, and suspenseful as well. And it has that going for it, to say the least, with a whole bunch of monster hunting and whatnot.
Yeah, James is or was dating a former coworker of mine at Midtown.
Go figure.
Yeah, I mean, comics is an incredibly small world.
Yes, it is. Page 42 for that. And then the archive edition of issue 1 is available on page 44 if you want to check that out. Okay. Hello Darkness issue 3. Chris, if you haven't been checking this out, it's got
I missed this initially. I'll have to go back for it, but it's got Garth Ennis and James Tynion. It's an anthology book, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Steve Orlando involved with it as well. And on the artwork chores, Becky Cloonan.
Wonderful.
Yep. Excellent.
That looks like is that a Paulo Rivera? It is a Paulo Rivera cover.
It is.
Oh, that is gorgeous. Wow.
Yep. And Jenny Friesen does the variant cover as well. Page 48 for that.
Oh, so DCBS has the tarot cover for $25.
Oh, okay.
Which kind of hurts, but I get it.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to get it, but I understand.
Well, are you going to get this? Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Usagi Yojimbo #1.
I think I'm going to I've the crossover book, so I waited for the trade on Power Rangers Godzilla. Mm-hmm. And I think I might do it for this one too, because I'm very restrictive on what I get. The only one I didn't do that for was obviously Power Rangers Ninja Turtles, because Ninja Turtles, and our friend Freddie's working on it.
Oh, sure, yeah,
or worked on it. I think it's done already.
I think
don't remember.
Well, I think the second. He's doing the He-Man.
That's the one that's current. Yes, that's a Dark Horse.
That's current.
We'll get to that later.
Yep, but yeah, Ryan Parrott and Sean Daly on the writing and illustration for this. And page 52, this gets to enjoy a crossover that I never really thought would happen, and here it is happening. Stan Sakai is definitely on board, as he did one of the variant covers, but he is not necessarily writing this. But Usagi meets Power Rangers. Can't go wrong with that. So check it out if you are interested on page 52.
Well, the art's nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful artwork on that page.
Yes, it is. Yeah, absolutely. Page 53 has the that's the incentive cover by Takeshi Miyazawa.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh yeah. I think that it's approaching it. Oh, you know what? Jim Henson's Labyrinth #1 of 8. Got to mention that. Kyla Vander Koot with Giorgio Spalletta on the writing and artwork chores. It reminds me of the Babe. And page 60 most definitely reminds me of the Babe. 8-issue miniseries.
I'll admit here, and I have to rectify this as soon as possible. I have yet to see Labyrinth.
Oh, you have to.
I still have not seen Labyrinth.
Absolutely
have to.
Yeah, I know.
I haven't seen it.
It's a major
in
omission of mine. Yeah, I have to watch it.
I hadn't seen it until I was an adult, to be fair. So
I mean, it's got David Bowie and Jennifer Connelly. Why haven't I not watched this movie yet?
Okay. I think I saw this when I was like 5, and I fell asleep during it. So like I don't remember much of it anyway. So I do have to rewatch it. Yeah. I actually only watched like Dark Crystal, which another Archaea book that Archaea had at one point, like a couple of years ago myself. So like all those like 80s classics that Jim Henson did, there's quite a few I've actually missed.
Well, there's this format, this retro format that we do that maybe I might have to rectify that. So
Gelfling.
I've been given the and now I'm just imagining once again that I'll be able to watch David Bowie spin balls in his hands. Just one of the greatest scenes and just images in my head. But
Shane has the next choice. We'll see what he picks.
There you go. Yep, Jim Henson's Labyrinth, #1 of 8, page 60. And meanwhile, Cyanide and Happiness, 20 Years Wasted, a questionable recollection of the first 2 decades. Page 62. Big Cyanide and Happiness fan here. Happy to see any of it collected, and this is a great way to celebrate 20 years of one of my favorite strip comics. page 62.
The fact that they named it after my experience the last 20 years is just painful. Though. Like they didn't have to attack me like that.
Come on, man. Let it go.
God, this got really dark. Holy, man, all right, buddy.
My sense of humor is pitch black at times.
I appreciate that, but I very much. Ian, what have I signed up for here? Holy mackerel!
This was your fault, Chris.
You volunteered. I mean, to be fair, you had plenty of opportunities to listen to episodes I've been on.
Nicely done. And also Side Eye and Happiness Punching Zoo, also 20th anniversary collection, page 64. That image there of the Punching Zoo is just so good. Also, one of my favorite party games is Joking Hazard that they put out. Excellent card game. Super fun.
I think I have a set somewhere.
Talk about Dan Mora. Klaus, The Life and Times of Santa Claus, back in softcover. Grant Morrison and Dan Mora putting that out in softcover, 128 pages for $20 on page 66.
Now, did Murd read that, or did he swear off it? I don't remember.
I think he may have read the beginning, but not any more than that. I'll have to double check with him.
Okay.
This collects Klaus and the Crying Snowman #1, and Klaus and the Life and Times of Joe Christmas #1. So they were both double sized, and this is 128 pages for $20.
I remember he talked about it like 2 or 3 years ago, but I don't remember what he said.
Yeah. Well, I would love to get his opinions on that, as it is, two of the best creators in comics together as one, and Dan Mora getting to draw Klaus. Can't go wrong with that. All right, I think that's about it here for Boom. And I will move over to Dynamite real quick and cover that. Not a lot this month, it looks like, from Dynamite.
Johnny Quest.
Yeah, Johnny Quest is Joe Casey on Johnny Quest for that second issue of that ongoing series, page 87.
Murd brought it up last month's previews.
Yep. I'm sure he was excited about that.
Yes, he was.
And the artwork is excellent, as you can see here.
Yep.
Powerpuff Girls issue 3. Kelly Thompson's Powerpuff Girls continuing on page 91. And the Chitara miniseries continuing as well on page 95. All right. Anything new this month?
Wait, what's that Transformers thing, real quick?
Transformers. Did I pass everything? Here we are. Yes.
Yeah. What is this?
Okay. That's a good question. Let's say. Here we are. Transformers 40th anniversary trading cards.
I have some of these.
Yeah. I think I might even have some of these from when I was a kid. Wow.
Oh, I don't have them from when someone gave me like an almost complete set.
Okay. Yeah.
A while ago.
This is essentially a reissue of the collectible trading cards of the Transformers, page 98. So they, this is not comics. This is trading cards. But any of you who were into it back in the day, this is a good recollection to have on page 98.
That's actually how I got into comics, is because trading cards were cheaper than comics.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom would cave and let me have trading cards instead. I learned about comics from those 1990, 1991 Marvel trading cards from Impel.
A similar experience to Murd, actually. When
I've heard him mention this. That's why that's why me and Murd are we vibe.
Yep. It's part of the Murdonian legend.
Yes, indeed. Simpatico. It's all Matt's fault in the end. That's and the Gargoyles Dark Ages collections. This is 192 pages for each collection of trade paperback, page 107. This is Gargoyles Dark Ages returns readers to the time when humans and gargoyles took their first wary steps together on the road to peaceful coexistence. Collecting 6 issues of the celebrated series in one collection, both hardcover and trade paperback editions available. Both available in September on page 107. And the Lilo and Stitch Ohana mass market editions also available on page 108.
6x9.
Mm-hmm.
Smart move.
Yeah.
A lot of companies are going to this smaller format, which is good.
They are, yeah. For anything that is easily accessible and easier to read on, say, like a train or whatnot, it's a good direction to go. It really is.
Yeah, it really is. And, except, I'm the degenerate with the backpack full of comic books on the train. So
of course. I used to be when I was on the train for a while, but eventually just switched to a tablet of some kind. So I would have less.
Raph, I'm still reading paper too. I'm right there with you.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I think that's why my comic book reading slowed also. Because I don't go out and I'm not on any transportation that much. Yeah. So there's nothing for me to there's no time to kill.
When you say you don't go out, should we be concerned, or is this just
no? I mean, I got a kidney transplant right before COVID, so that was a big reason. But I'm fine now.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that.
We're all golden. Yeah. Again, I make very dark jokes because of my experience.
Yes. he's building it back up, definitely. In fact, actually, Raph was just at a wrestling show with myself and Jamal Eigel about 2 weeks back. That was good times.
Minus the pyro.
Yes. We got seats right by the entrance. So whenever any pyro went off, we lost hearing for a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
David Poposi's Space Ghost, page 123, issue 5 of that. All hail the locust of the apocalypse. That's all I need to hear. Give me Zorak. Give me all the Zorak. And issue 8 of Thundercats on 127 as well, continuing that return to comic books. And we'll go through Titan real quick and then head over to DC. UFO robot is it Grendizer? I'm going to guess
Grendizer?
Grendizer,
like a grenadier, so Grendizer, I'm guessing, maybe.
Good call on that one. You're probably right. But Xavier Dorison on the writing for this one, Denise Bajram on the artwork chores. Duke Fleet's story continues in the long-awaited sequel to the seminal Mazinger Mecha franchise.
I thought that was familiar.
Yeah. I know Mazinger 7 is huge amongst some of my anime and manga fans, but this war between the forces of Vega and I'm gonna get it wrong again, but whatever. Grenadier is but a distant memory. But from the confines of space, the ruined division emerges with the most powerful saucer beast, the Hydragon. Nice.
It could be Grendizer too, Ian. I'm just making a guess.
Yeah, Grendizer sounds better, quite frankly. So that makes sense. Page 140 there. Check it out. Issue 104. It's giant robots. They're doing giant robot things.
All right, let's pause for a minute now. Let's take a moment and acknowledge one of the best offerings in comics of the past year.
But of course,
which is again, I've raved about this for month after month. Is Zub's Conan the Barbarian? Here they're doing a miniseries, Battle of the Black Stone, with Jim Zub is writing. That's enough. They've just gotten a roll call of tremendous artwork on this book. I've mentioned many times that the Conan comic, you don't have to be a long-term fan of Conan to appreciate this is some of the best comics being produced anywhere right now. Mm-hmm. Story, art, tip of the hat to legacy. These are fantastic books. I think Volume 3 of the trade is on the next page too of the ongoing series, but magnificent stuff.
Yep, I believe you are right. And first
you got me sold.
First, you got the ongoing issue 15, page 144, and then
tremendous book.
The Savage Sword of Conan Original Comics Omnibus, Volume 10.
These are collecting the black and white stories from the Marvel era. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Page 145, and then you get your Volume 3 on page 146.
The work by Roberto de la Torre, I mentioned him before, is just stunning. He's channeling John Buscema, one of the great Conan artists, but then he's doing his own spin. It's an art style that goes all the way back to Hal Foster's Prince Valiant. This is some of the best work in comics right now. Stunning.
Yep. Excellent.
I've always been I've always liked Conan. I don't always read the Conan books. I've read some of the Dark Horse, so I might get the trades on this since it's got such a high recommendation.
Raph, just read this. It's mouth-watering stuff.
Okay, great.
I'm looking forward to this. Killtopia, the complete collection. This is collected in a hardback edition. This was kickstarted back in the day. High speed, high stakes cyberpunk adventure through Neo Tokyo. Dave Cook on the writing, Clark Bint and Craig Patan on the artwork chores. 10 years ago, an unexplained explosion rocked the city's Sector K district, leaving it home to a horde of killer mecha and a lethal nanomachine plague known as the Rot. Today, the sector is rebranded as Killtopia, the most brutal blood sport on the planet. High-tech hunters known as Wreckers flood Japan to destroy the mechs in exchange for rot medication and infinite wealth. This is so manga it hurts. And I am down for it, and it has praise from Derek Robertson as reads like a twisted future that's not far from our own.
I like that.
And those are words to live by right there. This sounds fantastic.
Blade Runner, Akira kind of like feel to it too.
Definitely. Yep. So Killtopia, the complete collection, only $25 for 288 pages of content too. Not too shabby. There's also a direct market edition with a cover by Frank Quitely himself, which is even creepier.
Wow.
But yeah, page 148 for that, and Killtopia. Well worth checking out. And the fourth and final issue of the Doctor Who 15th Doctor miniseries, available on page 152 as well, if you've been reading that and are waiting to check that out. Rivers of London Stray Cat Blues by Ben Aronovich and Andrew Cartmel. Hit comic based on the best-selling novel returns here on page 155. And I think that's about it for Titan. Oh, you know what? The Kid in Me has to mention.
Oh, yes.
The Kid in Me has to mention, page 162. Battletoads, The Lost Adventure. Simon Furman, Andre Genellet on the artwork chores. This is the prequel to the 2020 Battletoads game. And there was a Battletoads animated series when Raph and I were kids. There were Battletoads video games, and it's just nice to see Battletoads still existing in any form. And this is very much that, as we collect Battletoads: The Lost Adventures issue 1 through 3 into a full collection here on page 162.
We're long overdue for a Zen Intergalactic Ninja reboot too.
That's true. Yeah. And what was the one with the cats?
Okay, there's two.
Yeah.
Because there's one that there's Samurai Pizza Cats, but that was only a cartoon. Right. And then there's the other one, which isn't as popular, and I don't remember the name of it, but I know there's two. Because someone pointed this out to me a little while ago, but I don't remember what the other one was.
Okay. All right. Actually, maybe I'm not thinking of Cats. You know what? Whatever. It'll come to me. But there were a lot of 90s animated series that most people have forgot that deserve recognition every now and then. All right. And that will end Titan for me. Yeah, all right, one more. Ezuka. Osama Ezuka, IL. This will also be in the manga section, but dive into the extraordinary world of Osamu Tezuka, author of world-renowned titles Astro Boy and Dororo. I just realized that they forgot the T in Tezuka on the diamond solicitation originally, hence why I said Osama Ezuka at first. That was
yeah.
Yeah, wowzers. Thrown into the life of Amari Dasaku, a filmmaker whose fanciful creations have fallen out of favor in a society dominated by scientific triumphs. However, his life changes forever when he encounters a peculiar group led by Count Alucard. And he receives an extraordinary gift, IL, a mysterious mannequin with the power of shape-shifting. Together, Daisuke and IL utilize the phenomenal transformative abilities to help those in need and are propelled into an array of thrilling and haphazard adventures. Page 168.
By the way, Ian, SWAT Cats.
SWAT Cats. That's what I was thinking of. Thank you, baby. Yes. But no, This is great, but Count out the card. Shockingly, I think that might be Dracula. I don't know. That's
what?
I know it's kind of a given, right? But we'll see. We'll see. Great to see Tezuka stuff being continued to be collected for English markets by Titan on page 168. All right, now I'm going to set myself up here to go past.
Oh, what's that Gojira? Go back up to the.
Well, this is Image again. So if
go back up. Back up a little more.
There we go. There we go.
There it is.
Godzilla the
I'm getting this.
Yep, there we go. Godzilla's 70th anniversary illustrated encyclopedia from kaiju designer Shinji Nishikawa. Full Godzilla index, essentially, for any of you Godzilla fans on page 176.
I am, and I will.
Excellent. Thank you for pointing that out, sir. All right, let's go past Image since we just did Image, and that'll set me up for later, and onward we go to DC. DC's got some good stuff this month. Batman and Catwoman join forces with the Suicide Squad in Batman 152 by Zdarsky, with Mike Hawthorne on the artwork chores. A Absolute Power tie-in. We're going to have tons of DC stuff to talk about, probably in next previews, with the announcements that have come out about DC's Totally Not Ultimate line, we swear. That's going to be coming as DC is all in.
I can't believe they're joining All Elite Wrestling. That's crazy.
I know, right? Yeah. But it looks like great stuff. But we will talk about that when the time comes.
Yes, I'm gonna dedicate some time to that.
While we wait, Jeff Loeb, Eduardo Riso, concluding the Long Halloween franchise. Unfortunately, Tim Sale was not able to do it with his passing, so Eduardo Riso filling in for him. To conclude this story with the first issue of Batman: The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween here.
I think it's safe to say we'll all be reading this and discussing it.
Oh, no question. Oh, my God, yeah. Jeff Loeb, I mean, The Long Halloween's a seminal work, and all the continuations have been great. So I fully anticipate that this is just going to be as good. It's going to be a 10-part miniseries continuing the story from the Long Halloween special that was released in 2021. In fact, actually, it will be a different artist in each.
That's
issue.
right. That's right. Yep.
Yeah. So this is Eduardo Riso's issue, and then we'll get further issues from there. Very good to hear. Page 2. And the Long Halloween, The Last Halloween, the Prelude by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale.
I have to order this. I think I missed this somehow.
Yeah.
All right.
I think I
order that. Yeah.
This is a special reprint of the Prelude to The Last Halloween on page 3. So glad to see that Tim Sale, at least has part of it involved, even if it is the prequel. Absolute Power issue 3, Wade and Mora's major crossover event, page 4.
I have the first issue sitting here. I was going to read it before the podcast, but I didn't get to it in time.
Yeah, I'll be reading it sooner than later, definitely as well. And then Absolute Power Super Son by Cinna Grace and Nicole Maines. Cinna Grace getting a shot at Jonathan Kent for DC. Happy to see that.
I think I got the foil cover.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure I ordered it, and I think we all know why I got the foil cover.
Electric Blue, baby. Electric Blue.
Yeah. Greatest ever of Superman.
Nobody's a bigger fan of Electric Blue than Raph.
But I'm not the only one. Dan Jurgens told me that.
That is true.
There's actually a decent-sized fan base of the Electric Blue era.
Gotta love it. Well, why else would they keep bringing it back, in one form or another?
That's true. Well, they don't finish reprinting it, but I have I have 98% of the issues.
Yep.
I'm missing the Aquaman Millennium Giants crossover. That's the only one I'm missing, and it haunts me to this day.
So most of these are Absolute Power tie-ins, so I'm skipping them. But I have to mention Green Lantern issue 15 by Jeremy Adams and Philip Kennedy Johnson here. Hal has a problem. He needs to charge his ring, but the entrance to the power battery is a continent away. Plus, the skies over Earth are patrolled by Amanda Waller's modified Amazos, which leaves Hal with one choice: to ride into the danger zone.
Oh, wow.
You can't get better than that. And a John Stewart tale from Green Lantern War Journal spills out into the battlefield of a new struggle brewing on the horizon. And there's a Hispanic Heritage Month variant, including my favorite Green Lantern, Kyle Rayner.
Yes, Kyle.
A variant of this.
And by the way, Levy Pooh, his ride in the danger zone will be aboard the Batplane.
Yes, indeed. Yep. So this is going to be fun stuff here on page 7. John Ridley concludes his Absolute Power Origins miniseries on page 8 with artwork by Aletha Martinez and Norm Rapmund. Always got to love it when Rapmund's involved with anything DC. And a whole bunch of other stuff there. But let's go to Batman the Barbarian. This one was
Smallwood.
Yes, indeed. And this one was also called out by, I believe, Nick Hobbs. Called this out, as well as a bunch of other things that we've already mentioned. He called it out on the Comic Timing fan group. But Batman the Barbarian, Greg Smallwood, in a world where unspeakable beasts slither through silent temples and sorcerers pledge innocent lives as blood sacrifices to incomprehensible cosmic designs, only one man has the strength of will and brute force required to protect the people who would become prey. The fearsome, blade-wielding Batman. This just sounds awesome.
Well, it's the artist from Human Target. I mean, it's one of the best in the business. I'm very excited for this.
And
all I can think of is the Conan theme from the cartoon back in the 90s. Except Batman, the adventurer.
Oh my God, I forgot.
Batman, warrior of all. I don't remember the rest of it.
Man, that was such a short-lived series, and yet somehow you're the one who remembers the lyrics. I love it.
Listen, there are some really obscure cartoons that I still love and think about to this day.
Of course. Oh man, but yeah, Greg Smallwood. I've said it before. I'm just in general glad that Elseworlds is back as a brand.
Yes.
Amen.
And this looks like it's going to be terrific. It's a 6-issue mini starting off here on page 10. And look at these variants that Nicholas Scott gets to do. Whew. Damn.
Got the Supergirl and the Superman.
Nice. Those are all there on page 11 for you to check out. Nightwing 118. The final
end of an era, man.
And Bruno Redondo's award-winning run. Oh man, it's sad to see them go. Because this has just been some of the best Nightwing stuff ever. It really has.
Yes, but at the same time, I always like when people don't overstay their welcome. They leave at the peak of their powers, and this will be a hell of an omnibus.
Yes,
when they collect the whole thing. We've talked before. This is easily one of the best ongoing titles in the stands for the past couple of years.
No question about it.
Without question.
Yep.
I mean, if you love Dick Grayson, if you love the character, I can't think of any writer in memory who understands him as well as Tom Taylor.
Oh, absolutely.
And Redondo just captures the joy of the character, the way he moves. It's a magnificent book.
Yep.
Not to mention the Campbell covers have all been hits for me.
Oh my God.
And so many of them been so good.
Yep. Absolutely. And Redondo, every single cover that Redondo does is just gold.
Yes. I mean, Nightwing. I mean, the next solicit over. It's just how great the covers have been for Nightwing.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally just a comic of covers.
Yeah, and the fact that you could do that with something like this is just a testament, to say the least. Curious to see who's going to be taking over Nightwing from here. We'll find out next month. Whoever gets the solicit, but check it out on page 13 for the end of that.
All right, the Dark Age we've mentioned before, also just a stunning follow-up to the Superman Space Age miniseries.
Mm-hmm.
And so far it is delivering the goods, let me tell you.
Oh yeah,
I love the redesign.
Yeah, it's a great look. And Dark Age, as with Superman Dark Age, a book that they're actually aging in real time. So you get actual real bat families because, well, there's going to be new people that come along. So page 14 for that.
I'm waiting for the hardcover on that because I got the Superman one. I still haven't read it yet, but I'm excited.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to it yet, but I'm gonna be checking it out on the app for sure. Love this cover for Birds of Prey 13. Still one of the best books on the stands. And Kelly Thompson and Gavin Guidry are the writing and art chore for this one. With the search for Barbara finally over, Cass leads the Birds of Prey through the portal one final time. And where they end up is a world far too familiar to Cass, but strange to everyone else. What here will turn everyone on its head? Or should we say who?
Shiva?
It's possible, yeah. Well,
I think I went with the Cassandra cover as opposed to the Black Canary cover because Cassandra's my girl.
Heck yeah. Check it out on page 15. World's Finest. A brand new arc with Adrian Gutierrez joining Mark Waid on the artwork chores here as Dan Morris steps away.
Eclipso.
Yep.
Yes.
That's always good to see.
This series is one of the best out there, I think, these days, isn't it? I mean,
yes.
Every issue is so immensely fun. All this historical callbacks, the joy of Mora's art.
Yep.
What a wonderful book.
Just finished the Kingdom Come storyline, and oh man, that was so good. I'm a little behind. I mean, I'm behind on a lot of stuff, but this one I've been reading, and I think it's the best team up book between these two characters since Jeff Loeb's early run.
Oh yeah, no question about it. Yeah. Page 16 for that continuing series there. Celebrate the Dark Knight's 85th anniversary on page 18 with a whole bunch of Batman reissues, like Batman Elmer Fudd by Tom King and Lee Weeks, the Long Halloween Batman Day edition, Loeb and Sale, Detective Comics number 27 facsimile edition, Batman Wayne Family Adventures, and Joker the World Special Edition, all available. This is fun. So Multiverses is a fighting game that was released. For a while, it was out in beta, and then they pulled it, and now it's back again, and it looks like it's going to be around for a while. And
is it going to be Bugs Bunny or Tom and Jerry?
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Yep. Or the Joker, for that matter. So
it's essentially like Warner Brothers version of Smash Brothers.
Yes.
It's that fighting style, but it's any character at Warner Brothers that you think would be in a fighting game, and someday you wouldn't, or in this.
Yep. And they're very far-reaching, definitely. And this Multiverses Collision Detected looks to be the Space Jam of comics here, definitely, with a whole bunch of different collection of characters all in one package, like Scooby-Doo and Adventure Time and Bugs Bunny and everybody else all in one package. Brian Q. Miller on the writing chores with Joe Samariva on the artwork. So check it out, page 20.
Brian Q., writer of Stephanie Brown Batgirl.
Yes,
right
indeed.
Before the New 52.
Mm-hmm.
I just found those issues. That's why it's so fresh in my head.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah. Gail Simone and Rainbow Rowell continuing their run on Action Comics. 1069 is the issue in question here, as the challenges continue as Superman finds himself an unwilling gladiator in a war of 1,000 worlds. Either he completes the challenges or we lose the cities of Paris, Chicago, and Kandor. Fascinating.
This is the Supergirl cover that I got.
Nice.
I wanted that Craig variant though. That thing looks incredible.
Mm-hmm. And how about on that same page, Trinity Special, World's Finest, Tom King, Belen Ortega. All there on page 20.
Yeah.
Oh, Tom King. Ah,
Indeed.
Thanks, honey. I totally missed that one.
Yeah, no question.
I think I got the regular cover.
I'm very disappointed to see Outsiders concluding.
Lance, you were a big champion of this book.
I love this book, and I hope that with issue 11 they're able to put things neatly in a bow and maybe we'll get lucky and we'll find more stuff in this universe that they've created inside the DC universe at some point, maybe a second volume or something like that.
Now, Ian, in reading the book, do you feel that they wrote it with an ending in mind, or do you think it just didn't sell well enough?
I think it might be a little bit of A and a little bit of B. I think that they are perfectly aware that they may have only had 12 issues with this. I don't know if they knew that they were going to get 11 issues. So
yeah,
but we'll see.
That kind of stinks. They could have one. Just give them the last issue. What the hell?
I know. But page 23 for that, and Titans issue 15 as a major death will shake the DCU. I know you've been enjoying that Titans series as well, Chris.
I'm way behind, but what I've read, I thought was, again, it's Tom Taylor. I mean, he just understands these characters so well, their voices, their histories, their interpersonal relationships. One of the best of the business.
Yep. Love that cover for Shazam number 15.
Great cover.
Excellent. Gleb Melnikov on the cover chore for that.
I'm sorry, Ian, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say Emanuela Lupacino on the main artwork.
It reminds me of what are the classic Superman cartoons from the 1940s?
The Fleischers?
The Fleischers. It has a Fleischer feel to it. Thank you, Raph.
Yes.
Excellent. Beautiful cover.
Absolutely. Page 24. From the DC Vault, Death in the Family, Robin Lives. Again, I did not know that they were doing this. That it was going to continue past the issue that we didn't get, but J.M. DeMatteis and Rick Leonardi essentially giving us a continuing what if tale of a DC universe where Jason Todd never died, and that continues here on page 25.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was going to be like this, so I'm going to wait for the collection.
Yeah. DC's I Know What You Did Last Crisis. Wow.
I'm a little scared because they brought Jay Diddleo back for this, and he hates Nightwing, and Nightwing's very prominent, so I wonder if he's going to kill him in this issue.
This entire thing is basically parody anyway, so...
Right, yeah.
Even if he does, then it's not like it's going to stick or anything.
No, it's just, I worry for Nightwing, poor Nightwing there. Him and Jay have had a rough relationship.
Yes. Him wanting to kill him like 9 times and it not actually going through.
Yes.
But... If you're in for the funnies, it's not just Dan DiDio. It's Rex Ogle, Dave Wilgoss, Rachel Pinellas, Matthew Levine, and a bunch of others. So check it out. Page 26. And the Lobo cancellation special. Also. Wow.
Wait, is it polybagged?
I think it might be, actually.
It says the variant is polybagged.
Wow.
I'm getting 3 of them. I gotta put my kids through college somehow.
Oh no! Don't do it.
I love how wide-eyed he is. Oh
man! Just when you thought it was safe to go back into outer space, the freakazoids at DC Comics ambush you with the scummiest comic book this side of Uranus. Oh boy! That's all I need to hear.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Batman 89 Echoes. Great cover there by Kieran Grant.
Wow.
Oh, I totally forgot. I missed all of them, so I'm going to have to wait for the hardcover.
Yeah, but that's just...
I don't know how.
Ugh. Page 27. They also announced a bunch of Beetlejuice versus Batman 89 covers that are going to be coming out.
Oh my god.
So for Beetlejuice.
That's my every cover that month for DC.
Yep. And I want to point out page 28. Finally, some actual new Mad comics.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yep. Mad Magazine issue 40, because they basically have just been reprinting for the past couple of years because the Mad essentially got shut down. They've occasionally had like a new strip or what have you, but this is 20 pages of new Mad content included in this 56-page Mad magazine, but that's better than nothing, definitely. Always good to see. And issue 3 of the Batman Gotham by Gaslight Kryptonian Age on page 28 here as well.
That cover is like a cross between John Cassaday and Frank Miller.
Yes.
Yeah, good call.
It kind of scares me.
As it should.
Anytime I see Frank Miller art or anything like it, I get a little scared.
Because it's going to be crazy?
Yes. It's going to be really out there, and I'm going to feel bad that I even looked at it.
Well, let's focus on this. This is my pick of the month, for many, many reasons.
Cantwell.
Yep.
Yeah.
Plastic Man No More, written by Christopher Cantwell, one of my favorite writers, period, whether it be TV, whether it be comics. He does it all, and he does it all well. Alex Linz and Jacob Edgar on the art chores here. This is essentially, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's a Black Label comic, but Eel O'Brien might be a superhero now, but before he was anything else, he was a crook. Until the accident that turned him into the pliable Plastic Man, Eel was bad to the bone. And just because he no longer has bones doesn't mean that's still not true. When an incident on a Justice League mission leads to catastrophic cellular damage, Plastic Man discovers he just might be out of time to make amends for the path he's tried to outrun, or to save the soul of his son, who, unfortunately for him, might have inherited more from dear old dad than just his superpowers. Yeah.
Yep. I think this is Black Label because it's got 17 plus in the corner.
Yeah. And the artwork too. Freaking fantastic. So good. So good. Yep. Happy to see Cantwell whenever I see him, and this is just going to be good stuff, period. Love that cover there for Zatanna bring down the house. Constantine and Zatanna getting close in the covers, it looks like, page 33. And the facsimile of
facsimiles.
Yep, Crisis on Infinite Earths issue 6, but also
Classic Detective Comics 400 cover.
Yes.
Challenge of the Man-Bat.
Wow, in stereo. Nice. Further down here, of course, we always like to mention the Batman and Scooby-Doo mysteries. Love the cover of Batman at a convention. Gotham City Comic-Con. Still $2.99 for 32 pages on page 37. And on we go.
All right, well, hold on now.
Yes.
If I may. So Batman the First Night, the Batman First Night, excuse me. So Dan Jurgens, Mike Perkins. I read the 3 issues. They come in like a treasury-sized format. The artwork is absolutely breathtaking. It's the Golden Age Batman with purple gloves, and so it's retro. It's one of his first adventures. Like he's only been Batman for a few weeks. They capture this beautiful Golden Age feel to the artwork, the way that people talk, but it's not clunky like you might find with some people just can't really read Golden Age comics. They just find them too of their time. But if that's you, don't worry, because this beautifully synthesizes the feel of those books, but it's very much written for a modern audience. I devoured this, and I lent the 3 issues to Shane, but it's a really exciting book. Any Batman fan, especially of his early adventures, definitely pick this up.
Yep.
Well, get in the hardcover.
Nice.
Well, at least I flipped through it at a store.
$29.99 for the hardcover, and
it'll be a beautiful presentation.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I mean, if anybody's going to write anything well, it's going to be Jurgens. Yep. Speaking of historic debuts, DC Finest, Superman the First Superhero, written by...
I don't know how many more ways I can own this book.
Siegel, Boring, Paul Cassidy.
This is the Superman. This is the if you don't remember, like from 10 years ago, maybe less, there was a hardcover series called Chronicles, which replaced the DC archives. This is just that.
Yep, those were soft covers. The Chronicles.
Yes, I have that. I have the Omnibus, which is a hardcover version of the soft covers. I have the original DC archive. And I have 2 of the reprints of Action Comics #1. So I think I might. I'm sorry. I know this is going to upset people, but I think I might. It's time for me to pass on a Superman reprint.
I don't know, man. I mean, I think you need every single one. Quite frankly, it's just
those days of my life are long gone. I'm sorry, I can't do it.
Sometimes you go to one shelf and you read it one way. Sometimes you go to a second shelf and you read it another way. I mean, why not? Quadruple dip.
If I somehow find a big fat 8-figure check with no strings attached in my pocket in a day, I'll go ahead and buy a nice big library house and I'll put them in one in each room. Sure. But until then, no.
Listeners, if any of you are multimillionaires and would like to fund our comic book purchases for the rest of please let us know and we will become your best friends.
I love how charmingly shameless you are.
But of course, this does collect Action Comics 1 through 25, Superman 1 through 5, and New York World's Fair #1. Gotta love it.
Interesting collection here. They're incorporating year 1 and year 2 into one edition.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Part of me almost wishes they also had included Robin year 1 with this, as I think in some ways that's a good bookend for.
It is a good bookend
for that, but page 41 for that year 1 and year 2. Frank Miller, Mike W. Barr, Mazzucchelli, McFarlane, Cockrum.
I never read year 2 because it's never in print hardly, and so I might end up getting that.
I read it. I picked up the issues to year 2. I think at a New York Comic Con actually. At one of the booths that had like them all collected as like one giant plastic bag full of comics. And it happened to have all the individual issues of it, not a trade, but just as issues.
I went to the Coke warehouse this past weekend and I got a stack. I got some pretty decent stuff.
Nice.
We can do show and tell later. It's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
We don't have to do it right now.
I mean, I got some stuff at a toy show I was at yesterday, Raph, that would make you drool, but that's not the point.
I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
We will do that after the show. Yeah,
that's fine.
Elseworlds Batman Volume 3 2024 edition. Glad this is back in print because it's got some of the best Batman Elseworlds that have ever been collected. Brotherhood of the Bat, Batman Night Gallery, Batman Scar of the Bat,
Round Table.
Batman Mask, and Batman Dark Knight of the Round Table 1 through 2. Whole bunch of creators: Doug Monk, Max Allen Collins, Mike Grell, Bob Layton, Jim Aparo on the artwork, Norm Brayfogle, Tom Grummett. Excellent names. And then Justice League Volume 3, 2024 edition in there as well, which includes Lex Luthor, in Conjurers 1 through 3, Flashpoint 1 through 3, Superman and Batman World's Funnest. And,
that's a classic.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I have that one. I love that one.
Created Equal as well, and Green Lantern 1001 Emerald Knights.
I remember that one too. By the way, Flashpoint 1999, not the Jeff Johns series.
Yes, indeed, that is something very different. How about the Superman Exile and Other Stories omnibus? Got some George Perez written stuff in there. Our artwork by Ordway and Jurgens. Late 80s Superman stories. Collects Adventures of Superman 455 to 459, Superman 23 to 27, Action Comics 643 to 46, and Action Comics Annual number 2, all in one trade.
Yeah, that's all the post Man of Steel stuff. Mm-hmm. Like the Man of Steel trades, I mean.
Yeah.
The burn run.
We got a Wildcats compendium for any of you early Image fans / Wildstorm fans. This is now long since under the DC umbrella, and they get to put out Wildcats compendiums whenever they want, and that is indeed the case here. Early Jim Lee Wildcats issues 0 through 13 plus 15 through 20. Team 1 Wildcats. Maybe that one wasn't by Jim Lee. I don't know. Or it was part of a crossover. That's also possible. Stormwatch in there as well. Wildcats Special, Wildcats Trilogy, Wildcats Sourcebook, page 44. And
Scalped. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
I was just going to say Absolute Transmet, but no, go right ahead with Scalped.
Well, I mean, we all admire Jason Aaron as a writer. This is one of his first great works. Again, about murder and intrigue on an American Indian reservation. Sort of the prodigal son returns. He's actually an undercover FBI agent. This is an outstanding book. Anybody who loves crime noir, I can't recommend this book enough. It's magnificent. The R.M. Guerra art is stunning. Yeah. It's dark stuff. I mean, the protagonist is has his own baggage. When he comes back to the reservation, he's trying to infiltrate sort of like the the guy who's like sort of like the magnate who runs like the casinos and has his hands in all kinds of pies. It's really well done. It's also about just dealing with the past, addiction. It's a powerful book. I can't recommend it enough.
Yep, and this collects 30 issues essentially, issues 1 through 29 of Scalped, all in one collection.
By the way, I looked it up. The only thing that I can see is it's written and drawn by Erik Larsen. Okay, and that might be the only reason why they don't have it, because he doesn't release the rights to it or something.
That's possible, yeah. But maybe because Larson is Image and all that they do all the Jim Lee stuff. Yeah, that's a possibility.
Well, no, because 15 is by James Robinson and Travis Charest. So I think it's literally specifically Erik Larsen.
Could be. How about this is always a great thing to see recollected in any form, the JSA Compendium. Jeff John, Goyer,
yeah.
Oh, some of the best comics you can find.
Absolutely. What do they collect there, Ian? I can't really see the copy.
JSA 1 through 25, the first JSA Annual, the first Secret Files, All-Star Comics 1 through 2, All-American Comics, Adventure Comics, Day of Judgment 1 through 5, Day of Judgment Secret Files, Golden Age Secret Files, Hour Man number 9, and 18, Martian Manhunter 18 through 19. There's tons of stuff. Stars and Stripes issue 8 through 9 is in here. And of course, Young Justice Sins of Youth 1 through issues 1 and 2 are in there, because that's heavily JSA, because Stargirl plays a big part in Sins of Youth. So
only $60 too. This is really impressive.
Yeah, for a very strong Shane not recommended 1,420 pages worth of content.
Yeesh.
Wow.
With soft cover too, so.
Yeah, but it is still going to break
your
lap. That is something. Man.
That needs to be on a sturdy shelf.
Yep. And here's something that they never recollect: Hard Traveling Heroes. Okay. Okay, they recollect it all the time, but if you haven't actually read Denny O'Neil and Neil
My
Adams,
ward is a junkie.
It's there for you.
All joking aside, really important stories though.
Yeah, absolutely is.
Absolutely. Yep. As is Adventures of Superman John Kent, because he's electric blue, and enough said on that.
The greatest version of a hero you can be.
Mm-hmm. Directly next to that, by the way, and literally the last thing in the catalog, Birds of Prey, Murder and Mystery. If you haven't read any of Gail Simone's Birds of Prey, do yourself a favor. And this is one of my favorite arcs. Ed Dennis is on the artwork. It's beautiful. It's well written, and this collects issues 56 through 67 of Birds of Prey. With that,
Ed Dennis did the art, but that cover is definitely Greg Land. I just realized it was Greg Land.
Yes, it 100% is Greg Land. Yes, definitely. Over to Marvel. And we got a lot of stuff out of Marvel. And nope, it's an Avengers. Amazing Spider-Man 57. That's not. No, just stop. Anyway, Wolverine #1 premieres this month. On page 1, Saladin Ahmed and Martine Coccolo on the writing and art chores. It has been a while since I have read a Wolverine book. I am going to read this book, and I will report back, because Saladin Ahmed is an excellent writer, and I think he will be able to get Wolverine down pretty damn well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to checking it out.
I want to like that JR cover more, but something about it's just not quite getting me. I like the idea of it.
The Peach Momoko cover is actually excellent.
The Peach is it's Peach. Peach is always great.
Oh, I know.
And I like the Kari Andrews.
Oh, the John Tyler Christopher, the negative space one, that's actually pretty cool. Yeah. Well, check that out on page 1. And then as we get further along, oh my God, the artwork on that.
Art is stunning.
Oh my God.
My God. Holy crap, that's good.
Okay, this might have sold me. I was kind of borderline. I actually didn't. They didn't ship me my Marvel previews. They forgot to put it in the box. But oh my God.
Oh my God. So good.
Oh boy.
Let's go to page 8, by the way, because this is another X-Men book that I'm looking forward to. Eve L. Ewing on the writing chores, Carmen Carnero on the artwork. You're putting Kate Pryde, she's going by Kate these days, and Emma Frost in a book together.
That'll work out.
You are going to make me happy. Yeah, I know. They've kissed and made up during the Krakoa era a decent amount, but they're still not on great terms. Even though they're friendly now, like there's.
Well, it's not like the relationship began on good terms way back when in the Bronze Age.
Oh yeah, yep. The Hellions, she'll never forget the Hellions, definitely. But this is an X-Men team with the two of them at the helm, and she's bartending and trying not to involve herself in anything, and then shock of shock, she has to involve herself in stuff and winds up with the Exceptional X-Men. I'm down. I can't wait to see how this is going to turn out. So absolutely worth.
I don't know much of what's coming out from Marvel this month because I didn't get the previews. So I'm seeing this for the first time, and I'm like, damn it, I didn't put it in my order. Carmen
Carnero's artwork is incredibly reminiscent of a Paul Pelletier.
Yeah, good point.
Like that is easily the comparison that I could draw. And look at the descriptive artwork, like just in facial expression alone, what he's able to convey makes me very happy.
Dazzler gets her own book again.
Yes. 4-issue miniseries.
Dazzler.
I always like Dazzler.
Dazzler.
Start the Dazzler chant. Yep.
Dazzler. 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 Dazzler.
And just like that, like that, somebody's chances of winning a video game tournament are ruined. But yes, once again, we've mentioned it way too often at PAX East. They were doing the X-Men arcade game as one of the games in one of their tournaments, and we started a Dazzler chant. He picked Dazzler. He was eliminated immediately. It was good times.
We did it 3 times to people, and every time that player had the lowest amount of points and was eliminated.
Yes. Yep.
So the peer pressure destroyed them, but it was worth it.
And the only reason why that game exists, I once again, I'm sure I've said this 8 times already, but I'll say it once more. The only reason why that game exists is Pride of the X-Men. The X-Men animated one-shot, essentially, that didn't go forward, but they already started production on the game, and they released it, and that's why that looks nothing like the animated series that actually wound up coming out in the 90s. Enough said.
Very true.
Yep. Jason Liu, Rafael Loureiro on this 4-issue mini. Dazzler back. This variant cover by Kari Andrews in her old-school outfit.
Always love the blue costume.
I agree as well. Yep. But this one here, the Dotson cover, that's just classic.
Yep. That's Disco Dazzler. Yep.
And apparently, Domino, Strong Guy, and Multiple Man are going to be a part.
Strong Guy. He's still around.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep. And involving X Factor in that fashion makes me even more intrigued in this. So, yeah, check it out. Page 14, 4-issue Dazzler mini. And issue 2 of Gail Simone's Uncanny X-Men, Who Are the Outliers, found on page 16. And
can't go wrong when Nightcrawler has a sword.
Just going to say, swashbuckling elf Nightcrawler, A-OK in my book, any day of the week.
Oh, by the way, for some reason, I don't quite know why, this month is Godzilla month, and a lot of comics have Godzilla variants, and I've ordered them all.
Okay.
Of the books that I read, I didn't order every book with a Godzilla variant. That would be insane. But I ordered any book I read, I got the Godzilla variant.
Nicely done. Nicely done. This X-Force team, and X-Force in general, is going heavy on the 90s.
I was about to say, look at those pouches, Ian. Holy mackerel.
I love it.
It's so good. And the leather jackets. Like, let's just go full jacket, like level 90s stuff, man. Oh, my God. Jeffrey Thorne, the man behind that. And I actually kind of dig Juggernaut's redesign with Stegman on the Jed McKay run X-Men book.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, Stegman's a great artist.
Oh yeah, that's page 19 there. Phoenix issue 21, Death from Above and Below. Starjammers, Black Order, Jean Grey. Children of Thanos themselves involved. Oh yeah, I'm game. And if you missed ordering the first issue of this, Chris, track it down. It's Mark Russell doing X Factor. Like you can't beat that. That's going to be great.
Thanks for the tip, honey.
Yep. Polaris versus X Factor in this second issue here. And we've got Hyperion. Storm versus Hyperion. As Jed McKay has introduced Storm into the Avengers. Page 23.
That was last issue, I believe.
Classic facsimile issue, X-Men 274. We talked about our Magneto Spotlight a couple of years ago. This is a key issue where they really explore the Rogue-Magneto relationship when they're together in the Savage Land. Great stuff. Claremont and Jim Lee.
They touched on very briefly in X-Men 97.
Yeah.
Yes. And for that matter, that loincloth is barely covering anything. Just got to point that out. Yowzes. Yes. Marvel and Disney, what if Donald Duck became Thor?
I'm close. I'm close. I'm close.
I love his struggle.
Yeah.
Well, if you're gonna get,
I love Thor.
Yeah.
So
you need to get the Walt Simonson variant.
Yes, obviously, I need to get the beta tribute.
Oh, absolutely, man. God, is this foul worthy of the hammer of Thor? I feel like I need to say that in a Donald Duck accent, but that would be too hard for me.
That's just no. We'll be here. Like, you're gonna need so many lozenges afterwards. It's just that is one of the hardest voices to do.
It's really bad, yeah. But Huey, Dewey, and Louie are going to be in this. The Stone Ducks from Saturn, preparing.
Of course.
Oh my God, this is brilliant. Page 25. Yeah, I look forward to reading that. Oh my God, the covers on this Aliens versus Avengers series,
written by Hickman.
Yes, indeed. Yep. With Isad Ribic on the artwork.
That's wow. I'll have to pick that up. I missed that last month.
Yep.
I'm gonna wait for the trade.
You gotta love the Captain America armor there returning in one form or another. And then at the same time, Predator versus Black Panther.
This one too.
Yep. Man. You knew it was coming eventually when they had both of these properties. Eventually they were going to wind up facing the Avengers.
I just love the idea. I love the Black Panther one because it's very like, how did we first meet the Predator? It was in the forest. It was in the jungle, I mean. And why not do that with with a certain Wakandan leader? So
absolutely. I was going to pass on this, but I have to mention Spirits of Vengeance #1 of 5. Sabir Pirzada on the artwork. On the writing. Sean Damian Hill on the artwork. It's got Johnny Blaze, Danny Ketch, Robbie Reyes, The Hood, and Kushala all together in one comic. It's worth it for any fan of Ghost Rider to have all of them in one thing. So 5-issue mini 31.
Quick tangent. So, Raph mentioned Predator. Now all the great lines are going on in my head now from the film. There's just so many great quotable
Get
lines.
To the chopper!
He was skinned alive. Sorry, I'll stop. But
come on, do it. Kill me now. What are you waiting for? Come on.
Chris, have you seen Prey, by the way?
Oh, Prey is excellent. Prey
is so good.
Excellent.
Prey is so good.
Really enjoyed that.
So good.
For those that don't know, Prey is the latest Predator offering. It's on Hulu, correct?
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
And it's a Predator encountering Native Americans. I want to say 18th century, maybe.
Thereabouts.
It's really, really well done.
Yes, it is.
Really well done.
Marvel Zombies Dawn of Decay. I'll just mention in passing because Groot is patient 0 for a new Marvel Zombies. Good times all around. Page 32 there. Love the cover on page 33 of this, just for how ridiculous it is. Yes, Deadpool team up exists. Thank you very much, Marvel, for reminding me of that, Rob Liefeld. Oh my God, is that Rob Liefeld?
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Oh my.
But how about this here? Hickman and Capullo's second issue of Wolverine Revenge.
That is a fantastic page.
Oh, it's so good.
The way he's got the supporting characters framed as such a stylized feel to it. That's fantastic.
Beautiful. Yep. This particular miniseries, I'm very much looking forward to. Cannot wait for that. Avengers Assemble 1 of 5. Steve Orlando, Corey Smith. Return to Avengers Mansion. When vampires attacked, a ragtag group of volunteer Avengers changed the tide of battle. And in the aftermath, Captain America has formed Avengers Emergency Response Squad. That sounds like an animated series. Steve's hand-picked team of veterans and newcomers live and train in Avengers Mansion. And when Captain America sounds the mission horn, whoever's on base has seconds to pack up and deploy. Agents are go! And that's exactly what's happening here. Looks like Wonder Man, Hercules, Photon, She-Hulk, Shang-Chi, Hawkeye, and Captain America.
Always good to see Wonder Man.
Oh, yes. Yep. Absolutely.
Actually, I finally went back and read Avengers No Surrender. And he's a pretty big player in that one.
He is. Yep. Well put.
Nice. Further along, Ultimate X-Men issue 7. Meet the Mutants' new mentor, Psylocke. I cannot wait.
Is this in Jumping On Point?
Yes.
Okay, I'm jumping in.
This is definitely Jumping On Point. Yeah, page 50 for that. Pete Loco continuing her Ultimate X-Men run. And Ultimates issue 4. I got to read issue 1 of this because I've heard it's so good. But the fate of the
I have it.
4 is found here on page 51 with Denise Camp and Phil Noto.
Ian, I wanted to thank you because you recommended Ultimate Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, many know my love for the character, and I went back and I picked up the first, I don't know, however many issues have come out, 5 or 6. Yep. It is superb.
It's great stuff.
I mean, they really capture T'Challa well, but it's a different version.
Mm-hmm.
So they play around with some of the dynamics in the characters, but the artwork is beautiful.
It is,
and they really capture the wonder of Wakanda. But it's great. Black Panther always should have like the intrigue, the politics, and it's all there. But they're doing some interesting things with Khonshu and a different take on Moon Knight. I mean, for me, the book is the epitome of what like an ultimate book should be.
No question.
It's familiar, but it's really well done.
Yeah, and I think it takes the kind of the best elements of like main Marvel universe and movie Wakanda, and also mesh that together pretty well.
I would agree with that.
Yep.
And the next book is one of the best comics Marvel's producing.
You better damn well believe it. Page 50. I mean, Ultimate Spider-Man number 9.
Anyone who loves Spidey, maybe if you're kind of overwhelmed with all the continuity and you just want something fresh, this book is just so magnificent because, and Ian's mentioned this in the past, it's Peter older with kids.
Yep.
Married to Mary Jane, becomes Spider-Man in his 30s.
Yep.
But again, Hickman just knows the character, the essence of the character. This book is, I mean, it's just like, it's such a refreshing palate cleanser to read this book.
Oh, yeah. And
I'm loving the relationship developed between Peter and Harry in this title as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because Harry he's familiar, but he isn't in the way they're using him in the book. So,
especially
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, especially with the whole, what side is the Green Goblin on?
Right. Yeah.
It's
one of the first books I read every month now.
Excellent. Happy to hear it.
I missed out. I'm waiting for the trade.
Yeah. Once again, a series of books that Murd will not be checking out. The Infinity. This one. There's a Spider-Boy annual and a Moon Knight annual that's going to be touching on that until eventually we get to Avengers Annual number 1 with Derek Landry. Great cover by Salvador Larroca.
I bought this thinking it was. I had to get those other books too. I'm not getting it then. Forget it. This is the only one of the Infinity Watch that I got, so I'm out. Goodbye.
I've been in and out on the Zeb Wells run, depending on what's going on, but everything with Tombstone has been riveting.
Yes.
And they've really, I mean, Demete has introduced the character in the classic Spectacular Spider-Man run with Robbie Roberts. Those are great stories, but they've really taken the character even the next level, and he's one of Spider-Man's most interesting adversaries now. Really good stuff.
Oh, absolutely. And his run is now concluding, and I believe Joe Casey will be the next person that's going to be taking on Spider-Man for at least a little while after that. So check that out on page 56 and 57, issues 57 and 58.
Spider-Man Reign?
Yeah, Spider-Man Reign 2. I've heard mixed things about this new version of it, but I will definitely be checking it out when it's all collected. Especially now that Miles is a part of it in ways that he definitely was not in the original, because Miles
he didn't exist
as a character. Yeah, when the first Spider-Man Reign came out. But I do want to check out Spider-Man Black Suit and Blood, especially with Greg Weisman involved as he is. And this is issue 2 of 4 of that, and it's going to have Dan Jurgens involved as well. Talk about a classic Spider-Man, writer coming back, and he's going to be drawing some of this too. So can't wait to see that. Page 59.
Wasn't he a part of Identity Crisis?
Yes, I believe he was, and also obviously, the Ben Reilly stuff back in the day.
Right. Well, yeah, because I remember I think I followed Jurgens from Identity Crisis to his Thor run, which is one of the better Thor runs.
Yep. Oh yeah, no, his Thor run is fantastic. We've got Captain America issue 13. JMS and Carlos Magno. JMS has gone past 12 issues on Captain America. I did not see that coming, but he is
amazing.
He is not done yet, and he's been consistent. It's been a monthly book. Good for him. Good for him indeed, and good for us because it's been good stuff.
Indeed.
Yep. Gotta love this cover here for Fantastic Four issue 25. The first cover that has not been done by a certain master in quite some time, but instead it's a stunning cover by Joshua Cassara. Great variant by Greg Capullo as well, page 71. But there's Alex Ross.
Wow. Oh, my God.
He does a lot more than I think he does. He does a lot of covers nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
Really does, yeah.
Look at his version of Asgard. The majesty gorgeous. Of the Rainbow Bridge. Wow.
And I cannot wait for that documentary about Kingdom Come that's being kickstarted soon by...
I'm so excited.
By Uncle Sal himself, along with Mark Waid and the Bensons involved with it. It's going to be something else.
Great Spidey facsimile, issue 260. If you're a fan of the Hobgoblin, this is one of the great battles between Spider-Man and the Hobgoblin, involving Harry Osborn. This is the Tom DeFalco, Ron Friends run that I'm very fond of, where they really explore the Hobgoblin. Who is the Hobgoblin was the big mystery of the time. That they really carried that on for quite some time. And stuff involving the Rose. Great Spidey street level stuff with one of his classic, one of his greatest adversaries.
Definitely. Page 74 for that. And on that same page, issue 9 of the facsimile of Secret Wars that they've been putting out issue by issue. 50th anniversary special of Deathlock.
Oh my God.
Wow. That really threw me.
Yeah, I know. I was not expecting that. But Justina Ireland and Christopher Priest on the writing chores here. Dave Eaglesham and Dennis Cowan on the artwork chores. Wow. Oh my God. Had no idea that Deathlock had been around 50 years, but he has. And this is
a 70s character. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, the late great Rich Buckler created Deathlock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Wow. Page 75 for that 50th anniversary. Good way to celebrate him with a great creative team. And I'm looking forward to seeing this Namor.
Jason Aaron on Namor.
Yeah, issue 3 of that on page 76, and issue 4 of the new Scarlet Witch series by Orlando, volume 2 of his. Let me go down. Oh, you know what? It's not solicited. Well, of course it's not. But the month before, Chris, last previews we mentioned that unfortunately we had to bid farewell to She-Hulk, as it is now no longer series. Yeah, Rainbow Rowell.
I've been reading it in trade. It's wonderful.
Yeah, Rainbow Rowell's last issue was solicited last month, so they're unfortunately moving on from that because it was a damn good series.
Shame.
Yep.
I've had like 3 books to this order since we started looking at Marvel because I don't have the catalog in front of me.
Nice.
That's why we do these Twinkle Toes.
Yes.
Joe Kelly omnibus of Spider-Man. How about that?
Yep.
Whole bunch of stuff from Nonstop Spider-Man, Savage Spider-Man, Marvel Fanfare, Web Spinners, Tales of Spider-Man, a whole bunch of others on page 95.
They have that 2-parter with Deadpool from like the mid 2010s.
That was
early
really
2010s. That was a
really
good one.
But did that have Scotty Young art?
Yes. And it's a cover where they're both wearing each other's gear.
Yes.
And Spider-Man's got all the pouches. Yes.
I love that one. I love that one so much. How about this for you, Chris? Marvel Masterworks Kazar.
Kazar. Looks like they're going into some of its 1970s stuff.
Yes, indeed.
You have no idea how good it is to hear people call him Kazar again. So, I've been playing Marvel Snap since it debuted back in October of 2023, and there's a lot of YouTubers who make strategy videos and news videos on the game, and most of them call him Kazar, and it hurt me so much to my core. And anytime someone corrected them, they just I'm just gonna call him Kazar.
I have to be honest, Raph. So, in my early days of reading comics, my parents was buying random stuff for me off spinner racks. They got me a Kazar book, and I was a kid. I said, "Oh, it's Kazar," and I did that for years until I finally realized.
Yeah, but like you corrected yourself after being given the information.
Yes, exactly.
These YouTubers, they won't do it, and it just hurts my soul.
Like and subscribe. Yeah. By the way, everybody watching this on YouTube, thank you very much for joining us, and we appreciate it.
We do appreciate it.
Yes, indeed. But page 97 for that Marvel Masterworks Kazar volume with Doug Monk, Steve Gerber, some classic stories there.
Kazar had a really good series in the 80s. I want to say Brett Anderson was the penciler. I don't remember who wrote it, but some good stuff.
Nice. And the first volume of Ultimate X-Men available for you all on page 109.
In my order.
Yep, 108 and 109 for that matter, because they've got 2 different covers there. And I think that's about it for that, unless there's any Epic Collection. Why not? Web of Life, Web of Death, Volume 28 of the Amazing Spider-Man Epic Collection, old school Scarlet Spider action in the Clone Saga that never ends. And
okay, let's redeem ourselves now. Keep going.
Yes.
Did you get to the Daredevil Bendis Epic Collection yet?
I think we passed it.
No, it's right here. It's right there. So
Yep.
Modern Era Epic Collection. This collects. I mean, many of us know the Bendis Malev run is it Malev or Malev? I always forget.
I think it's Malev.
Malev run is one of the great Daredevil runs. This collects issues 32 to 50. So then when Matt Murdock's identity has been revealed. And have you guys read these stories?
Oh yeah. Yep.
And
not in a long time, but yes.
It explores the fallout. Anyone who's a Daredevil fan, this is mandatory reading. Great stuff.
Yep.
Great stuff.
Absolutely. And on that same page, it's Death of the Dream by Brubaker and Loeb, with pencils by Epting, Perkins, Weeks, tons of others there. That's some classic Captain America, page 121.
Anytime Brubaker and Epting touched Captain America, it was just gold.
Oh, wow.
07 Cap. That's Civil War era, because I saw Fallen Sun.
Ian, go back up a little bit if you would.
Yes.
So I was going to mention this later, but they're showing it here. So a couple years ago, Alex Ross released the Fantastic Four Full Circle graphic novel, which is, I mean, we've talked about it. It's just stunning. It's Alex Ross writing and drawing a full graphic novel.
Yep.
And it's riffing on a classic Fantastic Four story from the Silver Age. This now is an expanded edition.
Love it.
Which has the full story that inspired the book, and also all kinds of concept art, commentary. I mean, anyone who loves Alex Ross, this sounds like a master class that one should purchase.
Oh, absolutely.
And the original graphic novel is just breathtaking.
Yeah, I have the original graphic novel, and it's superb. It's absolutely superb. Yep.
Just want to mention that.
Yep. Oh, and of course, Marvel Masterworks, The Amazing Spider-Man Volume 5, to become an Avenger graphic novel. But that's Stan Lee and John Romita Sr. It's old school Spider-Man action, issues 39 to 46 and annual number 3. You've got some of the most seminal Green Goblin moments there.
This is the classic when they realize each other's identities. Essential reading if anyone's a fan of the Goblin.
Most definitely. All right, and we conclude that, and we are on to the main book. I know you need to depart, Chris.
But I wanted to just shout out a couple things if I could.
Of course, by all means.
If you don't mind doing some fancy key work there, buddy, going back and forth.
Yep.
So, all right, little story. When Shannon and I went to Pittsburgh late last month, and we went to Ides, of course, and also an excellent store in outside of Pittsburgh called Phantom of the Attic, which had a wonderful selection of graphic novels and trades. And in the past, we talked about the great comic Black Sad, which is the wonderful noir book by Spanish creators. For me, probably one of the greatest comic books produced in the past couple decades, and I mean that quite sincerely. And I didn't realize that a new Black Sad story had come out, which I had totally missed. Luckily, Phantom of the Attic had it. I bought it, devoured it. And if you go to page 244,
yes,
I'm assuming is the Dark Horse section.
Yes, I believe you are correct. And there it is on page 244. Here we are.
Yep. So They All Fall Down Part 2. I'm sure many listeners are familiar with Black Sad, but for those who aren't, or maybe they just want a refresher, it is just top of the line crime noir in a 1950s setting, but it's anthropomorphic talking animals, and I'm not being hyperbolic. It is, for me, when it comes to what can the comic book medium achieve, what is it capable of. This is at the pinnacle for me of what this medium can achieve. The artwork is gorgeous. The way the artist captures the animal characters, all the references to noir, the atmosphere. These are stunning books, and this is the latest edition. Go back if you're interested. There's a series of graphic novels that Dark Horse has translated and reprinted. I can't read the writer and artist. My eyesight's going in. What is it? It's Juan
Diaz Canal and Juanjo Guamido.
Is the artist. Yeah, this is. They're really. I mean, for me, there's just nothing better. It's that good.
Yep. While we're on this page, Chris, just to point out, since we're here already, Christopher Landvik on the Facebook mentioned The Goon, Bunch of Old Crap, Volume 1, by Eric Powell himself. This collects a whole bunch of Goon in one package here. It's the whole misadventures of Lonely Street and the childhood story of how a boy born into circus family became protector of his neighborhood. Collects The Goon, Rough Stuff, Nothing But Misery, My Murderous Childhood, and Heaps of Ruination. All available in one package, 496 pages for only $35. So anybody who's a fan of The Goon or looking to find out about The Goon, this is a good place to start it out on page 244.
Well done. If you could go to, let's see, page 246, The Legend of Luther Arkwright.
Yep, 246. Here we are.
So Brian Talbot, an artist I'm sure many people are familiar with from The Killing Joke, for example. Basically, these stories are a series of books about this incredibly powerful being who has just incredible psychic powers, and it's in this sort of this Britain of the future. The artwork is I mean, if you know Brian Talbot's artwork, it's breathtaking, but they're very trippy. There's a lot of psychedelia, different parallel worlds. Anyone who enjoys like science fiction of that nature, multiverse, all that kind of work, this is top of the line stuff.
Nice.
And this is the latest installment of that saga. And I think they've collected the first 2 arcs in a book, if I remember correctly, and these have come out over many years. These different installments. Can't recommend that enough. Also, if you go to page 248, please, Ian.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Star Trek.
Yes.
So we've been raving about these books. Cantwell on Canada Defiant, thank you, sir, and Lansley and Kelly on the flagship title. I want to point out the Red Path Star Trek Volume 2. Ooh. This is a crossover event that occurred last summer, which I devoured, involving a turmoil in the Klingon Empire. The Klingon, like God King Kahless, returns, and he forms this cult that various Klingons are involved in, including Worf's son. And it's just how the various Star Trek characters and the different crews come together to try to prevent this cataclysm. I've mentioned before, the creative teams they have on these 2 Star Trek books have these characters hands down. The universe, the tone, everything. As a Star Trek fan, it's almost like the shows have returned. That's how good these books are. I wanted to recommend that.
Nice.
And
very nice, very nice. There you go. Raph with some props, comic book props, as it were. Nick Hobbs also pointed out 249 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Nation #1, which I'm sure Raph is probably also checking out. That's a new ongoing series in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles universe. It's starting off with a Raph flashback adventure arc, Attack on Area 5.
Best way to start off a comic book series, honestly.
Absolutely.
There's no other way to do it.
Yep. Vincenzo Frederici on the artwork chores there. So anybody who's a fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you got another arc going on your hands on page 249.
Listeners / viewers, even if you're not a fan of Ninja Turtles, all right, just think about it. There's a character named Raph. Right? What a cool name.
I know.
You could go ahead and check this series out and see what this cool character with a cool name is doing. Just check it out. You don't need anything else.
Here's your
Ninja Turtles as a kid? Bad taste, but still, check it out.
Here's your actual solicitation, by the way, for that Full Circle Expanded Edition on page 253. So anyone who's looking to order that, use 253 as your guide for the Fantastic Four Full Circle Expanded Edition by the one and only Alex Ross.
A few more things I want to mention. Page 380, for fans of pulp and sort of like the foundations of a lot of the stories we love. Flash Gordon. I knew I could count on you. Flash Gordon. Let's see. Go back a little bit. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Flash Gordon Quarterly.
Ooh.
Quarterly. Okay.
Yeah. Wow. So you've got Mark Andreyko is one of the writers. So that's
Dennis Culver too, for that matter.
That's top flight right there. So the Fall of King Voltan. I mean, I'm sure many listeners are familiar with Flash Gordon and the impact of the character on everything from pop culture to George Lucas to pulp and you name it. But this is exciting. These covers are wonderful. So anyone who's a fan of the Flash Gordon world, it's great to see him coming back into comics like this.
Absolutely.
And last thing, go ahead. I'm sorry, please.
And there's the ongoing Flash Gordon issue 2 on that next one by the one and only Jeremy Adams, with artwork by Will Conrad. So, yep.
And last thing I want to mention on page 414.
414. Okay.
I have to do a little history shout out here.
413, scrolling back up.
So it's called Stalin. 414.
Stalin for Ian.
414, 18, 17, 16. There we go.
Almost there.
Stalin in the Shadow of Stalin, the story of Mr. Jones. So,
I know Andrea Chalupa.
Really?
I don't know her personally. I know of her. I know who she is. She's a writer who has a podcast. I used to listen to it from time to time.
And artist Ivan Rodriguez. In the early 1930s, young journalist Gareth Jones traveled to the Soviet Union for a story and stumbles upon a growing man-made famine, or Holodomor, which is in Ukraine. Happy Ukraine under the government's guidance. Speaking the truth in its ugliness, he embarks on a journey of discovery, strife, and a cover-up of the deaths of millions of people. Now, this is important because this is one of. I mean, Stalin has so many crimes associated with. He's one of the great mass murderers in all of recorded history.
Yeah.
Winston Churchill famously said, "When I met him, I felt like I was shaking hands with murder." And this is about the people of Ukraine. Obviously, we all know what they're dealing with right now, but that very complicated history they have with Russia, which Putin interprets it one way, many Ukrainians another. But we know that in the 30s, part of Stalin's drive to industrialize and collectivize the Soviet economy, its agriculture, basically either through callousness or intention, millions of Ukrainians starved due to Soviet policies. They call this the Holodomor. It's one of the terrible
Holodomor,
excuse me, atrocities in the pre-World War II era. And I'm glad to see there's a book that's going to be addressing that. I mean, the cover looks great in terms of the artwork.
So to give you a little background, the little background that I do know, Andrea's been she wrote a book she wrote a memoir of her grandfather's experience, and she was trying, this is actually originally a screenplay that she tried to sell to Hollywood.
Oh, cool.
And I guess it didn't work out. I don't remember her having a movie being made. So I guess she decided to adapt it to a graphic novel, which I think is just as good, if not better.
Well,
you can actually pass this along.
Definitely picking this up. It's a history that I think more people should become. It's probably not widely known in the United States. And in general, I think Stalin is often overshadowed by Hitler, and I think more people should understand just how monstrous he was, and just the vast amount of blood that is on his hands. I'm glad this a book like this is being published. I'll be sure to read it and then discuss it.
Oh yeah.
I this is actually one of the books I had seen that I was gonna bring up too, because I knew of Andrea before this, so that's actually a nice coincidence.
Yeah, absolutely. And mind you, Chris, I did manage to see Patriots on Broadway before it was gone, which is the story of the rise of Putin, talking about another Russian man in charge who has done horrible things. You would have enjoyed it.
I wasn't even aware of that.
Yeah, it was only on for a couple of months, but it just wrapped about maybe like a month or so ago, and we were able to see it. Both Martha and I. It was highly regarded by her cousin who got to see it. And again, it is quite literally about the rise of Putin and how he was put in charge by people behind the scenes, and how horribly awry things went because of that. So very
well. I love how you're always man about town with the plays there, honey.
I do my best. Absolutely.
She actually got the movie made. It came out in 2019. It's called Mr. Jones. James Norton, Vanessa Kirby, and Peter Skarsgård.
Vanessa Kirby, wow.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a pretty decently powerful.
It got an 86% on Rotten Tomatoes, actually. So it's high, well regarded.
I'll read the book and look at the movie.
Yeah.
Yes. There you go.
Absolutely.
All right, gentlemen. I got to run.
All right. Take care, Chris.
It's been an honor. Thank you for having me on.
Enjoy your time.
Indeed. And
it's gonna be tough.
Have a wonderful. It's good that you were just talking about Stalin of all people. Enjoy your speech. Okay.
Okay.
I really wouldn't put that on the same level.
No, I know.
Stalin killed about 30 million people. So.
I know. I kid because oh boy.
But cult of personality, we can definitely get into some areas.
Most definitely.
I mean,
yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. All right, gentlemen.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris.
Good night.
We'll do this again sometime.
You bet.
Yes. All right, so just you and me, Raph, to finish it up. I'm going to go back to about IDW because there really wasn't anything before that I was really, clamoring for.
There's a couple of books. Let me. I think Abrams had one of them.
Okay. Abrams is right around where I am actually. So
okay. So IDW's first, right?
Abrams Comic Arts starts on 252 actually. So it's like right after IDW.
So Capital, the Capital and Ideology is actually named the book. It's a graphic novel adaptation of a New York Times bestseller, Thomas Piketty. And Piketty himself says this is a really good adaptation of his original book.
Nice.
It's basically a history of like, capitalism and how it's worked in the past 100+ years. And in the graphic novel, they adopt it by making you follow a character, Jules, who's born at the end of the 1800s, and then you follow his family's history as they navigate the world, and what it means to, he's from a privileged family, what it means to be part of that privilege, and securing their place in an unequal society. Let me just read it here. A privileged figure representative of a profoundly unequal society, obsessed with property. He, his family circle, and his descendants will experience the evolution of wealth and society. Because things have changed a lot in 100 years, 200 years, 300 years.
Of course,
and a New York Times bestsellers book, and it's kind of educational, and they're putting in a comic. Give it to your kids.
Absolutely, yeah.
Give it to someone. Get educated. Because history repeats itself, right? So.
Yeah, if we don't learn from history, then we fail from history, quite frankly.
Right. So actually, 3 of my books are history books. So, but we'll
good.
That's the first one so far.
That's very much in the vein of Mr. Eberle. So well done there.
Yes.
Page 252 for that, and we already mentioned what's on 253. So let's move forward a little bit further here to Lost, Back to the Island, the complete critical companion to the TV show. Emily St. James and Noel Murray. This is a reference book, but it goes through all 6 seasons of Lost and the history behind the show, what it took to make it. The complicated history behind the scenes, creator-wise and plotline-wise, trying to get things together. So any of you who are fans of Lost and are looking for a little bit more information, then that's good to see there for you on page 254.
So I was because of this solicit, which is kind of awkward.
Page 255. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Don't buy these. And I really hate saying that. Page 255.
I love Jeremy.
Action Lab Entertainment. I mean, I literally just had Jeremy on a little while ago. I think for Jeremy's sake, it is not at this particular time worth buying Princeless in this fashion, because this is not Action Lab Entertainment. This is basically the rotting husk of Action Lab Entertainment, and the once, well put together, independent creative force is very much not there anymore, and they're basically just picking at the ashes. So if you already own Princeless, enjoy it. I would say avoid these resolicitations here on 255. Also, because I heard, quite frankly, that the trade paperback quality is not very good. And there's other ways you can get this from earlier editions that are probably going to be much nicer than what's being offered.
Get it on the secondhand market. Get it on Comixology.
Yep.
Is it a thing where like he gets Alan Ward if they keep reprinting it?
I'm not entirely sure. I don't know either. I think that in the end, whoever is still involved with Action Lab is trying to just make money on whatever they still have. And that's unfortunately the case. But there is a company that I very much do enjoy, and that is Ahoy. And I will point out that the second issue of Babs by Garth Ennis and Jason Burrows is solicited on page 257 for any of you Ennis fans that are looking to continue that story. And that's worth checking out for sure, as is Volume 3 of The Wrong Earth, by our one and only Jamal Eigel and Tom Pyre on the writing chores as well. And the other trades of The Wrong Earth are also resolicited there on 258. And The Wrong Earth is one of my favorite series, beside the point that it's also drawn by one of my favorite people. So that too. Page 258.
So I also kind of want to talk about this, not in the sense of getting it, but do we think this is worth it? It's written by Beck Cloonan.
Yeah. I mean, well, Resurgence of the Valiant universe. Now, Alien Books picked up Valiant, and as Murd and I discussed in previous editions of previews, the first couple of Valiant books that came out were like 32 pages and like $10.
Yep,
and
I remember that.
Clearly, they were not worth it. They've now at least gotten enough production in the can where they can lower things back down to 5, which is not too bad in today's world. This is Becky Cloonan and Michael Conrad, so it's like it's good pedigree, and I want to see Valiant succeed. And this is the ground floor for whatever new version of the Valiant universe they're going to be printing. So if you're a fan of Valiant, if you're a fan of these characters, then yeah, it might be worth checking out. I've never really been a super big Valiant guy personally, but I'm glad to see that it is still existing. And it's going to have Exo Man of War, Bloodshot, Eternal Warrior, Ninjak, Ivar, Ray, Livewire, Faith, and other Valiant characters all involved. So check it out if you're interested. Page 259.
I'm a little attached only because the original owner Dinesh and one of the editors Hunter, they used to regularly come to Midtown during the early days of Valiant and ask us for feedback, and we'd hang out. They let me interview them, way back when. So I'm attached. Those guys are long gone, but I still hope the best for Valiant.
Look at this right here. Black, White, and Bloodshot, 1 of 4, talking about Valiant books that have some excellent creative teams behind them.
Oh my
Mark
God,
Guggenheim, Tim Seeley, Luciano Saracino, artwork by Ariel Olivetti, Augustine Alasal, Guillermo Fajardo, and a couple of others. This looks like it's going to be in the vein of that Wolverine book that I was talking about, or even the the Superman books or the Batman books, where they're just using one color along with black and white to get the artwork across. This is going to be a full anthology of Bloodshot stories beginning here on page 261.
Could be good.
Could be good. The artwork is damn good.
Oh yeah, look at that art.
Oh my God. I'm glad to see Olivetti still churning stuff out, man, because there was a while there we didn't really see his name bandied about too much. Second issue of Van Lente's Archer and Armstrong Assassination, the second and final issue of the 2 issues that are coming out, as well as Ninjak versus Roku, which I believe is a streaming story on page 263. Okay, maybe not.
First he comes from Roku, then it's Amazon Prime.
Oh no. Justin Jordan and Peter Milligan's Shadow Man, Matt Kint's Unity. Yeah,
Unity.
It certainly looks like they're putting out some interesting stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they're not. It's not like it was a year ago when it was just brutal.
Yeah, they were on last legs for a little while there, and they've certainly turned the page at least a little bit. So
wash your hands.
Exactly. Tom Holland's Fright Night, Volume 1. James Kuhuric, Neil Vokes, Jason Craig. I'm sorry, Fright Night. There you go. That's the way you got to say it.
Yes.
If you're a fan of the '80s movie 275, that's gonna be right up your alley. And I am a.
Man, he looks really good for being around in '85.
I know. Well, he's a vampire, so.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, they don't really age.
That's why Sony went with Morbius first.
Yeah.
Got it.
So we could have Morbin time, clearly.
Yes. And then when you bring him in as Spider-Man and you bite him, and that explains why he's immortal and can always be Spider-Man.
Dear God, no. All right, let's go with this. 298. Kiss the Sky. Jimi Hendrix, 1942 to 1970. J.M. DuPont and Mezzo on the artwork. It's basically a biocomic of Jimi Hendrix and his dark, desperate quest for recognition that defined the early chapters of Hendrix's life. This sounds fascinating. It really does.
It does.
Black Panel Press, the guys behind it. So yeah, if you're a fan of Jimi Hendrix or just want to know more about the man behind some of the best rock and roll in the history of rock and roll, it'll be there for you on page 298. My Vampire versus Your Werewolf by Paul Tobin. That sounds awesome.
Oh yeah, this is a YA novel. Yeah, I remember reading about this.
Page 301.
Yeah, basically it's like all the monsters kind of like group up to form a organization that to like kind of like keep themselves from getting eliminated. So they start like a not a fight club in the sense of like Brad Pitt Fight Club, but like an organization to like host fights, and that's the way to keep them going.
It sounds like a lot of fun. It sounds like it would make a good animated series, to be honest with you.
Yes.
But yeah, Bloomsbury is putting it out. So My Vampire versus Your Werewolf graphic novel. Check it out on page 301. I'm stopping on page 310 for The Airship. In 1986, a mysterious airship abducts Elizabeth's sister and takes her to a city in the sky. Years later, Elizabeth grows up and becomes one of the first woman airplane pilots, and she's still searching for her sister. Action-packed, moving, and ethereal, this historical fantasy about the dangerous early days of aviation is based on real-world characters and UFO lore. And the artwork looks stunning on the Halion cover. Nick Longoria is doing the main artwork, and his cover looks damn good to boot. Sterling Martin on the writing chores for this one. So there's a one-shot called The Airship.
It kind of reminds me of that book from that graphic novel from last month about the Japanese American girl who gets stuck in Japan.
Yes.
Has to translate.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Man, there's a lot of good stuff out there.
There is, man. Comics.
Definitely, yeah. It's almost like someone should go through the previews and talk about this stuff.
Yeah,
I wonder who's going to do that.
I don't know why anybody does that. And anybody listening to this or watching it right now, thank you very much for doing so. We really do appreciate it. Spread the word. Give us an iTunes review if you want to, or just comment on the YouTube or anything like that. All right, fine. We'll do that at the end of the episode. But either way,
you are spreading the literature. The literature.
CEX Publishing behind that airship one shot, by the way, on page 310.
Okay, so the book I'm looking for, it's a book on the history of Chinese people in America. It's volume 2. I don't remember the publisher off the top of my head. So if you see something that's similar to that, I will make sure to stop it if I see it.
Instead, right now I'm going to go to Game Screen and Journal, Dungeons and Dragons: The Book of Concealment hardcover, written by official Dungeons and Dragons. That's who wrote it, because it's an official Dungeons and Dragons book. That's all we need to know. But it basically another book officially licensed and illustrated by D&D, features gridded pages and a hardcover case that doubles as a privacy game screen, designed with the Dungeon Master in mind, but useful for all players and games. The case of this journal unfolds into a 4-panel game screen. So pretty cool, and you get some story in there as well. So check out the Book of Concealment on page 311. As we go down a little bit more, let's go to Sound, a comics anthology, because I like anthologies. Difference Engine put this one out. A crunchy snack, an argument. What does sound look like to you? Difference Engine presents our first comics anthology, Sound, a comics anthology. Writers and illustrators from all around Southeast Asia were challenged to push the boundaries of depicting the unseen through the medium of visuals and words, while telling stories important to them. Sounds like a fun concept for an anthology, and you get your South Asian credit in there while we're at it. So yeah, page 319 for that.
Voices.
Moving down a little bit more into the book, Yokai, the art of Shigeru Mizuki. Shigeru Mizuki is no stranger to the supernatural and its portents. Kitaru and Tono Monogatari reimagined the obscure folklores of his youth, bringing them to life with whimsy. Mizuki, the cartoonist, certainly left an incredible mark on comics world literature. Mizuki, the fine artist, on the other hand, rounds out the full scope of his fascination with the otherworldly and fantastic, bringing these worlds to life in robust color. And this celebrates that with a full art book with Shigeru Mizuki's more professional, outside of the comics world stuff, all collected in one edition on page 323. Yes.
Distillery time.
Distillery time. Translation, whole bunch of stuff that's already running. And finally, Time Waits #1, previously solicited, because that's all they do. But it's Chip Zdarsky and David Brothers and Marcus Toe. So if you didn't actually get it the last time, you can get it this time. 48-page prestige book for $9.99. Oh boy. That's a pricey price point, quite frankly. But
yeah, maybe pass on that one.
It's Zdarsky, so
wait for the trade at least to get the money's worth.
I would definitely do so. The oversized jock hardcover for Gone #1 might be worth it on $338. But almost all this stuff is stuff that I've already mentioned, because they've been solicited multiple times already. So I'm mostly just skipping over Distillery this month and going somewhere else.
Yeah, we definitely talked about it last month.
Mm-hmm.
I remember.
This, however, I am checking out. Page 346. There's a serial killer in the ghetto. Meshuggah.
I saw this too.
Yep. Copenhagen, Denmark, 1905. Terror is spreading in the ghetto. Who can stop the murders? Who can bring truth to light? Following a series of murders in the ghetto, a young Jewish typist is recruited by the police to assist in their investigations. They feel that having an insider would help them solve the crimes in a place perceived as impenetrable to them. Her research leads her on a trail of a bloodthirsty murderer whose acts are rooted in old superstitions and who marks his victims with Kabbalistic symbols. In the tradition of Jack the Ripper or the Alienist, this gripping Scandinavian thriller takes us deep into the heart of a ghetto where poverty intersects with crime to better blur the tracks of a predator whose visions foreshadow the terrible events to come. Written by Benny Bedker, with art and cover by Christian Hogard. This sounds fascinating as hell to me.
Yep,
and
I agree.
I may have to check it out on page 346. And the artwork on the following pages is spooky and so lovingly rendered. My God. Ugh. Body horror out the wazoo, too. Let's see. Anything new in Fantagraphics? Walt Disney's Donald Duck Adventures mini collection and Walt Disney's Donald Duck Vacation Parade, for any of you Donald Duck fans, on page 349. Steve Niles has a new book. Well, this is a graphic novel, at least, so I think this is a collection of out of print. Oh, that's what it is. It's been out of print since 1993. So it's written by Steve Niles and art by Jim Whiting. Scab, on page 341, being brought back by Fantico Enterprises. About a boy, his zombie, and the end of the human race. Fascinating. Boy with a pet zombie, essentially. 352, Weirdo. 11-year-old Tony Weaver Jr. loves comic books, anime, and video games, and idolizes the heroic, larger-than-life characters he finds there. But his classmates all think he's a weirdo. Ostracized and bullied by his peers, Tony struggles with the hurt and depression of not being accepted and hopes that if he can conform to other people's expectations, those feelings might dissipate. But try as he might, he is unsuccessful and spirals deeper into the dark thoughts and feelings that plague him. Cut off from his peers and the media he loves and unaware of how to broach the subject of his feelings and seek help, Tony attempts suicide. In the wake of his unsuccessful attempt, Tony's family surrounds him with love and support, and his life begins to change for the better. He starts seeing a therapist to talk through his feelings and enrolls in a new school whose aim is to foster creativity. As Tony navigates the new school, new friendships, and new crushes, he finds himself growing into the hero he's always aspired to be. So, very much a slice of life story being told in Weirdo. By Tony Weaver Jr., and clearly based on Tony's life from the sounds of it. So, yeah, worth checking out definitely on page 352 if you want something
cool.
Very much grounded in reality. Ooh. Kill Shakespeare.
Oh, I remember that book.
Yeah. This is the first folio of Kill Shakespeare. Anthony Del Cole and Connor McCreary. So the return of Kill Shakespeare in one form or another here, including Richard III and Lady Macbeth, for variety's sake. Page 353 for any of you fans of Kill Shakespeare looking for a little bit more of Kill Shakespeare action. All right, let's get further down into the scope of everything. And we got a new Goosebumps graphic novel, The Haunted Mask, written shockingly by R.L. Stine, but also Maddie Gonzalez, who did the writing and the artwork chores for this, 365. So adapting a Disney. It says now on Disney Plus, but this is adapting one of the old graphic Goosebumps stories from the looks of it.
Right.
Yeah. So if you're a fan of Goosebumps and want to go back in time a little bit, or if you have some kiddies who are into some youth horror, this will absolutely be up your alley on page 365.
Okay, I found my book. It's not going to be till like most of my books are late. It's like in the T's, the S's, the D's.
That's fine by me. I mean, we're already in the K's, so we are definitely getting there. It's a unfortunate light month for a lot of the back of the book stuff from the looks of it, as most things are, I think, mid storyline, and I only really like to focus on stuff that's either collected or new. That's what I find here on page 393, however, with Silicon Bandits, written by Jason Starr. Art by Dalibor Talalik. In 2089, in the aftermath of the most recent World War, the former United States is now controlled by 4 trillionaires, and artificial intelligence has taken over most jobs. Kenji Sato and Aurora Withers are among the lucky ones employed by a prestigious robotics company. But when they're terminated too, replaced by the very androids they created, the couple hatches the ultimate revenge plan. Assemble the perfect heist crew out of androids they programmed. The ensuing crime spree goes perfectly until betrayal and sentience emerge in equally devastating turns.
Juicy.
Yeah, definitely. Described as a slick, fluid, economic drawing and skillful storytelling, which helped me to get hooked on the story of a great potential. Igor Kordy giving that praise. So... good to hear. Silicon Bandits, page 399. Yeah. Igor Kordy, man. He's still around. Yeah. How about this Miyazaki-esque Lost Letters by Jim Bishop on the next page?
It's won awards.
Indeed. Silver medal winner at the Zaz International Manga Awards in Japan. So Iode, short for iodine, lives in an idyllic island where humans and fish coexist on land. We sure this isn't a Miyazaki? He has been waiting patiently for a letter that seems to be perpetually delayed. So he takes a trip into town to inquire at the post office. Along the way, he meets a spirited hitchhiker who has been entrusted to deliver a mysterious package by the enigmatic underworld syndicate, the Octopus. Their 2 missions intertwine, leading not only to unexpected adventure, but deep personal realizations for both of them. The world is not what it seems, and the simple surreality of the little town may not be everything it seems to be. This sounds really cool. I look forward to it eventually being an anime, or at least an anime movie, because it has to be, dude.
Yeah, some sort of adaptation, yeah.
Yeah, Magnetic Press is putting this one out in English, okay. 394. So, Lost Letters.
This reminds me, like, the art is a little like it's like 80s, 80s anime.
Yes, definitely. Yeah,
right.
Which seems to be what Magnetic is going for here, because I even see like
this one too.
On the next page, also by Jim Bishop. I assume he's doing the translation, but. Yeah, this just looks just as 80s anime as the last one did. Page 395. Good stuff.
That's not anime.
No, it is not. Oh boy.
Let's see here.
All right, we're in. Oh, here we go. Oni, the Autumn King, Cullen Bunn, baby, and Christopher Mitten, who is not a kitten, nor something you put on your hand, but he is named after it.
This is only Cullen's 87th book of the month.
Yes, that does
slowing down,
but he's very good at it.
He is very good at it.
In the borderlands between imagination and reality, horror and fantasy, master storyteller Cullen Bunn, we know he's a master storyteller because he has 85 books, begin one family's labyrinth descent through a perilous forest where the local folklore is anything but a myth. Fascinating, Captain. Spectacular new vision of phantasmagoric folk horror. That's a good way of describing something. Page 402. So if you're into phantasmagoric folk horror, then this is going to be for you. Excellent.
It's a coloring book.
Yeah, this one's a coloring book. Scott Pilgrim's Precious Little Life coloring book on 405. If you want to color the pages, then that is all for you. Second issue of the Sesame Street miniseries, page 409. I know we mentioned issue 1 last month. Well worth checking out. All right. We're in Panini. Let's go to Pantheon Books, actually. Charles Burns' Final Cut, page 418. I'm driven.
Charles Burns?
Yeah, I know. And the cover is what drew me to it initially. As a child, Brian and his friend Jimmy would make sci-fi films in their yards, convincing their friends to star as victims of grisly murders, smearing lipstick on the bodies to simulate blood. Now a talented artist and aspiring filmmaker, Brian, along with Jimmy's friend Tina, and Lori, his reluctant muse, sets off to a remote cabin in the woods, never a good idea, with an old 8mm camera to make a true sci-fi horror movie in homage to Brian's favorite movie, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. But as Brian's affections for Lori go seemingly unreciprocated, Brian writes and draws himself into a fantasy where she is the girl of his dreams, his damsel in distress, and his savior wrapped into one. Rife with references to classic sci-fi and horror movies, and filled with panels of stunning depictions of nature, film, and surreal, Burns blurs the line between Brian's dreams and reality, imagination and perception. A master of the form of his finest, Final Cut is an astonishing look at what it means to truly express oneself through art. This sounds fantastic.
Yeah, I love Charles Burns' work.
What else has he done? I'm trying to piece it together in my brain. Just see.
Let me just look it up because it's been so long.
Yeah,
I'm not on the top. Black Hole. X'd out.
Black Hole. Duh. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I know Black Hole.
Yes.
And Black Hole was good.
His art style was very distinctive, so
yeah,
you can always tell it.
Very nice.
Those are two I read of his. But we used to sell them pretty regularly at Midtown. It's nice. I'm relying on my comic knowledge. I'm relying on 10-year-old comic knowledge.
Oh, sure.
Point, so it's like,
yeah. No,
it's all rusty.
Absolutely. Well, page 419, I'll just say in passing, Asterisk Generation 65th anniversary, the Smurfs Tale Box Set 1, and Magical Histories Tour Volume 16 are all worth checking out if you're fans of any of that. But I'm glad to see Smurfs comics still being collected in one way or another on page 419. Volume 1 of Inside Out 2 Big Feelings by Sloan Leong and Sergio Algazino and Sarah Galanti. So if you're a fan of what happened in Inside Out 2, this is the new adventures of the Inside Out crew. And Riley as a teenager being explored here in comic form on page 422.
Oh, God.
I know.
Teenage emotions. Jesus.
And a volume 2 of Turning Red, for that matter. Love to see Turning Red being continued in one way or another. Picture Window Books. This is just a book. Bat Family Adventures, Batmite and Batcave. Gotta love it. Got to love it.
It's YA. It's YA. That's good. There's a lot of YA stuff.
There is. Yeah.
Good.
Kids gotta read comics too, man.
Good.
Ooh, Random House graphic. Dr. Seuss, The Grinch Takes a Vacation. A new Grinch tale by Katie Van Dorn. So, if you're a fan of The Grinch, this will be for you. Page 429. And if you're looking for a straight-up retelling of Inside Out 2, that's available for you as well by Random House. Written by Random House. Yeah, the good old writer Random House. That's right.
What a great...
Excellent writer, right?
What an asshole you have to be to just name your kid Random.
I know, right? So random.
Hi, I'm Sylvia, and this is my husband Brad, and this is our son Random.
He has guns for hands.
Yeah.
Well, 429 for that. Maybe eventually they'll let us know who's actually writing it.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Let's see here.
Yep, we're in the
Our first one's from Scout Books.
Okay, your first one's from Scout. So here we go. Scout. Is that an American Chop Suey?
No, it's not it. It's it's a goofy one.
Okay. Mitch?
No, it is. If you can find it. Oh, it's not. It's a legacy edition, but I do want to bring attention to it.
Okay.
It's a reprint. It's there it is. Mullet Cop.
Nice.
Scout Legacy Editions brings back some of our most prolific issue number ones back in print.
Oh my God.
After a near-death experience, a mall cop goes undercover as a manager at an all-you-can-eat buffet with the help of his coworkers and a supercomputer microwave called MITT Mall Industries 2000. He takes on crime boss Robo Granite and her gang of thugs. Mullet Cop!
Coming to theaters this fall.
Hell yeah!
Rated X, as in don't see it. Please don't see it.
No, don't. No, it's okay. You can just don't even like illegally download it. It's not worth it.
My God. Ooh, Simon Furman. That's a name I haven't seen.
Oh,
yeah. To the Death, Rex and Rule trade paperback, page 439. So this collects, the full arc of this Rex and Rule book, based 10 years after the events of Simon Furman and Jeff Sr.'s 10-part maxi series, To the Death. These 5 chapters were originally presented in the Shift 2022 yearbook, and now they are collected in one volume here. So, To the Death, Rex and Rule by Simon Furman and Jeff Sr. and Various on page 439.
What was the publisher?
The publisher was, I believe it's either Shift.
Mid-Hero?
Yeah, I think it's Shift.
Okay, Shift.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Sometimes it's hard to read which publisher is which in previews.
Yeah, it's especially in this section.
Yeah. All right. We're on to
my next one's Third State, so I think we passed it.
Third State. Here we are. Voila.
Fighting to Belong, Volume 2, Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders, 1900 1970. Let's see. So, for many Americans of Asian American, Native Hawaiian, or Pacific Island descent who grew up in the United States, there continues to be the startling lack of opportunity to learn about our own history in our country. Even today, over 70% of Americans have little knowledge about AANHPI history or confuse it with Asian history. In Fighting to Belong, Volume 2, Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander History, 1900 1970, our middle school protagonists, Padmini, Sammy, Joe, and Tiana, and their guide, Kenji, embark on an amazing journey through time to witness key events in history, in AANHPI history. They witness the arrival of the Manila Men to the United States in the 18th century and fly through significant moments in the next 150 years. Fighting to Belong helps new audiences, young and old, AANHPI and non-AANHPI, understand how those stories are truly interwoven within the fabric of America. Obviously, that's important to me because I do want to learn about my own history and understand where I come from. And because, surprise, surprise, I didn't come from China. I'm from here. I was born here.
Yep.
So I got a history here, buddies. So that's always cool.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Learn history. So that's a good one. Oh, it's by a good friend of ours, Amy Chu. Well, a good friend of mine. I know Amy.
There you go. Excellent.
Amy's a former customer in Midtown, and I used to see her regularly.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. So support her and support Third State Books. This sounds like a really cool concept.
Yes. And then the last book is from Verso for me.
Well, on the same page, I'll point out. I love these. I love it when Taschen puts out these type of collections. Marvel Comics Library, Avengers Volume 2, 1965 to 1967. A giant ass hardcover of Avengers stories, 20 original issues.
It's great.
This is
the price.
Oh, I know, $200. Yeah, please.
Mm-hmm. I'm never going to own them.
But it's 666 pages, so it's not like
no,
like you're getting nothing. But like these things, are like historic tomes that are definitely worth it for anybody who does have the cheddar for it. Yep.
I have their DC and Marvel like history books from like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So beautiful. They're beautiful books.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. We're at Tomorrow's, so I will mention this month's Tomorrow's offerings. Back issue 156. This is on page 448, by the way. Bronze Age graphic novels, an exploration of the 1980s graphic novels from Marvel, DC, and First Comics, plus Conan graphic novels and DC's science fiction graphic novel series featuring Brent Anderson, John Byrne, Howard Chaykin, Chris Claremont, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, Jack Kirby, Don McGregor, Starlin, Thomas, Bernie Wrightson, and more. So yeah, this is pretty cool. This is the type of back issue stuff that I like when they go into stuff that I know about, but I haven't actually really thoroughly explored.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And that's definitely going to be worth checking out in back issue 156.
I think I've only read like one or two of those Marvel graphic novels. I didn't even know DC had any.
Yeah, neither did I. I mean, God Loves Man Kills is probably included with that.
I've read that in Death of Captain Marvel.
Yes, as have I. Yep. Yeah. Nice.
Oh, this one I thought was funny. Womb Raider from Uncivilized Comics.
Nice.
I didn't put it on my list, but I did remember seeing it. To the winner belongs the glory. Womb Raider. The eponymous racer dashes through surreal, flesh-like environments, witnessing his competitors get taken out one by one in the quest for ultimate fame and glory. From the twisted mind of, I can't see the name, Emil.
Hold on.
Was it Emil Fries Ernst?
Yeah, Emil Fries Ernst, yes.
Womb Raider is pedal to the metal, no holds barred, nitrous-infused kinetic sci-fi action and existential terror all in one package. Yeah. I just think that it looks great.
And it's got a fun name.
Yes. Womb Raider.
449. Nothing to do with Lara Croft. Nothing at all.
Nope.
Now, page 451. I do not know how to feel about this, but it's Cody Ziegler, and I like Cody Ziegler's work. Whether it be in animation or whether it be in comics, and Ryan Lee on the artwork. Goobers, a new series here. Clayton Lowe is headed back to his small southern hometown. His new friends from grad school are about to meet his old friends from high school and discover that something may have finally changed in a town where nothing ever changes. Pine Cove is ground zero for an infestation of body-snatching alien bugs. Time to bury the past. I mean, it sounds like it should be fun. Also
very 80s.
I was just gonna say, very much. Well, I mean, the covers will definitely do that to you, man. Because it's like straight Cabbage Patch right there, only with tentacles.
But like 80s horror sci-fi plot too.
Yep. Well, Ziegler's known for that type of stuff, and this could be worth checking out out of Vault on page 450.
I mean, I love his brother Dolph's work, so I'll check it out.
That is not his brother. No, that's something very different. That's all right. Anyway,
that's right.
On we go to manga. Let's see if I can find.
Manja.
Yep. Ottoman Henshin Hero Husband. That's a name of a manga. That's a manga.
Yes, it is.
Shinosuke Kanazawa on the creative work here, both writing and art. Boring salaryman, my best description of any hero in a manga. Boring salaryman. Soya Gomi finds himself infected by a parasitic alien. Wow, 2 for 2 on that one. Where his beloved wife Yuka is in danger from evil forces. For the safety of his wife and the entire world, Soya must use his love as the energy to power up. The epic wife-loving Henshin hero action manga starts here.
Is this a larger one? Because the price is a little off for a tankobon.
It's 480 pages, so that is a
okay.
decent amount. Yeah,
I was like, that's like a this, not a typical tankobon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so page 467 for that. Love the name, love the concept.
Yes. This next one is also a very manga name.
Falling in love with a traveling cat.
Yes.
Oh my god. Where would you like to travel? The aquarium, the amusement park, the great outdoors, the hot springs? Make a plan and pack your little bag. The cute kitties of Musan have conquered Japan, and now they're taking a trip. Incredible illustrator Juno brings the lives and travels of these cats to life in falling in love with a traveling cat. Beautiful.
Well, you cat lovers out there, you're going to buy 6 copies of these and read them to your cats in bed.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Get ready for it. Page 468. Viz Media 469. There's actually a decent amount of manga I'm interested in this month. This is one of them. I'm the Grim Reaper out of Viz. When Scarlet finds herself doomed to eternal punishment in hell for a sinful life she can't even remember, Satan himself offers her a deal. Return to Earth and kill one marked sinner per day as his Grim Reaper. This work brings her into the path of Chase, a disgraced former detective trying to solve a high-level case that seemed wrapped up in Scarlet's former life. Scarlet decides to partner with Chase to find the answers to her locked memories, as long as Chase doesn't discover Scarlet's blood-stained bargain with Satan first.
Kind of like Death Note.
Yeah. Really cool concept.
I like it.
Kind of like Ghost Rider meets The Punisher meets an anime.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of, and Death Note, except you're the Death Note because you're the one dispensing, the character's dispensing the death.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I just rewatched the entire Death Note anime. By the way, I hadn't watched it in a couple of years. Still holds up.
Good.
Yeah.
You know what doesn't hold up?
What?
The Netflix adaptation.
Yes, because it was bad to begin with.
Yeah, and then they gave that guy Godzilla.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just really. I mean, okay. To be fair, I don't hate the movie. Okay, no. To be honest, I don't hate those movies, but I hate those movies at the same time. Somehow, I don't get it.
That's fair.
I just think they're very condescending to me as a Godzilla fan and someone who's like an adult who understands science. They're very condescending.
Understood. I could definitely understand that. Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
Oh, we did that one already.
We did because Titan likes to solicit their stuff twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna look for one more manga with a cool name, and then I'll go ahead and call it a day.
Perhaps one for Verso. Did we pass Verso already?
Verso. Well, we're in manga, so yeah, definitely.
Okay, we probably did.
Yeah. What was the Verso one? You can read it out.
Okay, so this one is called. So it's 2 books, but one is a resolicit of Palestine by Joe Sacco, which is like his accounts of going to Gaza and the West Strip back in like the early 90s before, things were where they are today. And so Palestine is about the what things are like there at that time, and like and he interviews Palestinians, he interviews Israelis about the situation there, what it's like living there. So it's not only is it a nice history lesson, it's also a nice like view into that time in the early 90s where like there was still the peace process going on and there was still somewhat hope of like things resolving.
Nice.
I think I haven't read Palestine in a long. There it is.
Yeah.
That's the but this is a book this is a book by cartoonist. It's a collection of cartoons by Naji Ali, who grew up in a Palestinian refugee camp in the southern Lebanese city of Sidon, where his gift for drawing was discovered by the Palestinian poet Ghassan Kanafani in the late 1950s. Early the following decade, he left for Kuwait, embarking on a 30-year career that would see his cartoons published daily in newspapers from Cairo to Beirut, London to Paris. Through his most celebrated creation, The Witness Child Hamdallah, Ali criticizes the brutality of Israeli occupation, the venality and corruption of the regimes in the region, and the suffering of the Palestinian people, earning him many powerful enemies and the sobriquet the Palestinian Malcolm X. So this is the first time this has been reprinted from newspapers. I think it's like we said before, if you don't study history, you're doomed to repeat it.
Of course.
So I think there's been a lot of attention on Israel and Palestine, obviously because of the events of the last few months. So for those who don't really know what's been going on before the last few years, this is a perspective from 50 years ago that you can see and maybe get an idea of how things got to where they are.
Yeah, thank you for pointing this out.
At least from one perspective.
Yeah. No, I completely missed it. So thank you for pointing that out. That's on page 454 for anybody who's looking to check it out. A Child in Palestine graphic novel from Verso. Yep.
And Joe Sacco wrote the foreword, and he was the guy I mentioned before who wrote Palestine. He's the first comic book journalist, in the sense he's not like The Beat or CBR or whatever, a journalist who, instead of writing an article, he draws out a graphic novel and presents it that way. Mm-hmm. And he's well known for going into he's been to Iraq, he's been to Palestine, he's been to, I think he went to the Balkans during the Balkan conflicts in the 90s. Oh, wow. So he's a legit reporter. So for him to write the foreword for this, it's legit.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. And now for something completely different. I found my two manga to wrap us up. 491. First, Ultra Heaven Volume 1 by Kalichi Koike. In the future, any mood you want is just a pump away. People flock to legal pump bars, where licensed medical professionals, known as bar doctors, prescribe their customers the perfect pharmaceutical blend. But when the standard dosage isn't enough, our protagonist, Cub, turns to an unauthorized source. The results have to be seen to be believed. Rendered in a richly detailed, clear line style, this psychedelic sci-fi manga tears apart the basic fabric of reality. What is the truth and what is a dream? This sounds almost like a Coen Brothers movie with the manga flair. Ultra Heaven Volume 1 graphic novel. And then on the same page, this is what I was looking for. Something with a very, very manga name, just to wrap us. Kurakia-san wants to lead him around by the nose. Volume 1 graphic novel. Mwah! You can't get better than that. Gotta love it. Rukurakira is on her way to flunking high school. Her childhood friend, straight-A student Tadao Tadashi, wow, that's a very Stan Lee name. Volunteers.
Greetings, kids.
As private tutor, no Stan Lee experience, to avert her reckless path, but Rue's more focused on seducing him than learning, and their study sessions soon go wildly astray. When a Gyaru pride clashes with Tadao's take-it-serious attitude, who knows what will happen next? An unexpected rom-com so pure, you can't help but cheer it on. Kurakia-san wants to lead him around by the nose, Volume 1, page 491. Excellent.
Anything else?
That's it. That's it for that. Did you have any merch, Mr. I buy too many things, or was that it?
I didn't. I flipped through it. There's a couple the Godzilla stuff, but that's it.
Oh yeah. Let's look for those Godzilla plushies that I just saw, and then I think we can call it a day.
Silk, did you see that? That's a cool Silk.
That is a very cool Silk. Yeah. Marvel Premiere Collection Silk 1/7 scale statue on M21. That's $175, but
it's a classic statue. I don't usually buy. I usually buy their PVCs, the Marvel Galleries.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, man. I hate looking at stuff like this because I know I'll never buy it, but like the Gargoyle Steel Clan Robot 1/7 scale resin mini bust on M23 is a freaking delight.
Ooh, what is that bust?
Godzilla Legends in 3D, Godzilla 1974 10-inch resin bust. M20.
That is from the Terror of Mechagodzilla, the last Showa era film, because there was a 10-year gap between 1974 and 1984, which is when the Heisei period starts.
Nice.
For all you non-Godzilla nerds who want that information.
We all wanted that information. We just didn't know we wanted it, but now that we have it, we 100% know that we want it. So, yeah.
It's actually one of my favorite Godzilla films.
Nice.
Yeah, top 10. Maybe it's gotten pushed out since. I got to do a tier list.
All right, I've definitely found the Godzilla aisle here.
So much I want to spend on.
Bandai Movie Monster Series vinyls of Godzilla M47.
I want that burning.
Oh my god. Oh, the Godzilla Evolved exquisite basic figure at the Sweet Suite that I was at. There was one similar to that where you could put water in and it would create smoke.
Yes, I've seen that one. I've seen it on a bunch of like videos. It's like $75.
Yeah, definitely.
And he moves by himself too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need that. I don't need that kind of drama in my life.
You do not need
Ninja Turtles. What?
You don't need Ninja Turtles movie mashems either. I'm pretty sure you don't.
I don't need most of this stuff, but do I want it? I mean,
I don't need a talking Krusty doll on M52, no matter how much I want it. You don't need a movie Spock on M53. We don't need any of that.
What about Conan? You're gonna crush your enemies. See them driven before you.
I've made
lamentations of their women.
I had a big mistake looking through this entire thing here, so I think I'm just going to call it because I can't even find what I was looking for. But yeah, either way, there's way too much merch and way too much stuff that we want to buy that we're not going to because
No, come on, it's too much. Don't do it. Don't do it now.
Get to the chopper.
Oh my god. Get to the chopper. Get out of here. Come on. Don't.
Oh boy. All right. Well, I think we managed to do it, and only in about 3 hours, so that's not too bad. Okay, that's basically what else is new.
I mean, didn't we? How long was it last time? Like 3.5, wasn't it?
It was about 3.5 last time, so we shaved it off by at least 10 to 15 minutes. That's not too shabby. That's not too shabby.
Not bad.
Not bad. Well, anyway, Raph, thank you for once again going on this journey with me, and we'll reconvene sometime next month. I'll probably be remote in Florida, but I am bringing a laptop with me and a mic, so we can still make this happen. It just won't be nearly as smooth and suave as it currently is, and I probably won't have to. What are you going to do?
We improv.
Exactly.
We make do.
All right, well, that's that with that, and onward we go to the final farewells. Email address for Comic Timing is comictiming@gmail.com, facebook.com/comictiming on Facebook. From there, you can get to the Comic Timing fan group, which is growing and evolving. We have about 150 people currently on the group, so thank you very much for everybody who has joined. Twitter.com/Comic Timing Pod. We're also on Blue Sky as Comic Timing. Instagram, we're Comic Timing Podcast, and Threads, we're Comic Timing Podcast as well. And make sure to watch this and other Comic Timing releases over on YouTube at Comic Timing Podcast. Raph, you can find all your stuff at Raph Does Stuff, correct?
I do. I try to do stuff.
Twitter, Twitch, various other places. So make sure to check him out on there. And you can find me at I_AM_sci-fi on most places. And that is that with that. So with that, a reminder that there's always time for comics.
3 hours of comics.
So many comics.
So many.